Welcome, everybody, to Crunch Time with Jeff, Booner, and Lukas. Michael Gentry will be joining us in the second hour. He's got Red Wings he's got to watch. Man.
Take care of some business.
Got to be locked in today. Boys, we got a packed show. Obviously, Cam Sutton was released. We talked about it yesterday. Lions made their decision in a day. He's cut. We'll break that down. What are the Lions' options moving forward? What should they do at corner? MicroMike joining at 8:30. Keon Coleman to the Lions. There's a mock draft the 33rd team came out with. My gosh. We'll react to that. But, boys, how we feeling tonight?
I'm all right. I've had a rough one today. I'm not gonna lie. I started the day off 2-0 on my bets, and I have just absolutely gotten beaten and just destroyed over the last 9 or 10 games. I started 2-0 with Michigan State, Duquesne. Shout out to those two teams, and then since then, dude, I don't think I've hit one. I'm 2 for 10 today. Usually I don't lose. Losing today.
Booner, when you're on a down spell, you know what that means? You're about to pick up.
We're coming up, boys.
Yep, the up down theory.
Jeff used to tell me that all the time, gambling. You want to know what's crazy, though, with this? It's I text you guys right after I went 2-0, and Gentry said, Booner, what are the plays? And I text him 4 or 5 different plays and said, I'm on the dogs today. The dogs are about to come out. I'm on the Klotzy diet. The dogs. And I texted him that. All the dogs, I had 6 bets out in the atmosphere at that time. All were 6-0 at the time. With 5 minutes left of every single game, every single one of those bets lost. And 6 straight losses. And I was I'm sitting there. I'm at work. Mind this. People in a professional atmosphere. And I'm just sitting there oh, no. And it just all just
what are you doing in New Mexico?
No, dude, it was so bad. People were trying to talk to me, and I'm just yep. Just turned my head I'm in a bad spot right now. I'm in an absolute blender.
Yeah,
Shout
I
out
was checking
bouncing back, Boone.
I was checking my bracket out today. It's not too bad. I picked against Oregon. I lost there. I think Oregon lost 4 straight. So I was but then the up-down theory, to kind of
I had South Carolina as well.
So, yeah, I had South Carolina. So that's an L. But, hey, hope everyone, if you're entered already, great. Check your brackets. Got to check up, seeing where people are at. If you haven't, well, you missed your opportunity. The winner, the person who has the best-looking bracket, of course, we'll get some Tigers tickets. So, it's a great day. It's a great day.
I'm just mad there's been no upset. I just want an upset.
Yeah, that's
Oakland over Kentucky.
They're up right now.
Oakland, hey, they're fighting their ass off right now.
Shout out,
fighting their ass off. Neil Rule, I know Neil Rule is giddy right now. He is.
Is he on the call?
He is on the radio call. He's on the radio.
That's tight. I hope they win and it's on a buzzer beater or something. You just hear Neil Rule pulling his best Gus Johnson.
Neil has. Dude, I don't know if you guys know this. Neil has a catchphrase, the bang. He has his own. I'm trying to think of what it is. It's when someone hits a 3. Oh, he goes, of course, after someone hits a 3.
Yeah, because that's
a bottom type of guy. Shots up, bottoms. He's one of those.
He'll be 4-3, of course.
Catchphrase.
That's his. I think that's his license plate too. I think, of course, is his license plate. So
is it actually?
Yeah.
Oh, that's his phrase. That's his thing. That's his bang.
You gotta get yours to say Booner Path. Because what is it? 7?
Oh.
It's 7. It's 7.
How would I
Booner Path?
Booner 6.
It'd be hard to make it not seem like Boner Path because you'd have to do BNERPTH and people would be what the hell is this guy on?
That could be an issue.
That could be an issue.
That could be an issue.
I want to give a shout out to the people who got here at the very beginning. We appreciate you guys, all of you, for tuning in. John Hughes got here. He says, thanks for being here each week and covering the Lions of Michigan sports. Crazy stuff about Cam. And I'm curious about how the Lions address the cornerback room now. Can't wait for the show. Well, thank you, John, longtime listener. We appreciate your support. ETN as well. March Madness bracket was about to be 8-0, and then Nevada choked. Absolutely furious. Shout out to you, ETN, as well.
Martin twins.
Yep, Robin's Nest. Thank you. Says thank you, guys. I hope he is found safe. We got Anakin Skyogre in here as well. Of course, Adam Bagdoon is in the chat. Our guy. And Fella Shift God as well. I want to make sure I get the people. And, of course, Tyler. And we'll get Seth because Seth was in here as well. Guys, like we kind of mentioned, right? Cam Sutton was released today. The Lions put out a tweet. It's official. They've released Cam Sutton. The biggest thing I've been trying to find out, because I had a kind of a reaction video posted on our channel earlier this morning, not this morning, but earlier in the day. And my biggest question mark was how can the Lions kind of maneuver the cap situation regarding Cam Sutton? Like, what's the hit look like? Especially if a player does something like this or was accused of doing something like this, what does it look like? And I got some information that I want to kind of get through. And I saw Field Yates put something out, and I want to read it. It says, the Lions officially release cornerback Cam Sutton with a post-June 1st designation that allows the team to spread the dead money associated with his release over 2 seasons. The team will pick up $1.5 million in cap space on June 1st. And then Pro Football Talk put out a tweet as well. Sutton had $10.5 million fully guaranteed salary for 2024. Per source, the Lions voided the guarantees before cutting him. So the Lions did protect themselves for a situation like this. Just to be clear, they had it, and it was in his contract. So there's going to be something, but it'll be minuscule compared to what he was making. But fellas, it is now life after Cam Sutton. That is where we're at. We talked about it yesterday, of course. We still believe in the judicial system and innocent until proven guilty. Like I get all that. Like it's a real thing, but at the end of the day, guys, it's a terrible look, and the Lions responded accordingly, and this is what happens. He's released, so nothing surprising. And to me, there's not really nothing surprising.
No.
We kind of talked about this yesterday.
I think it was just everything we talked about. Yeah, exactly. What we had on the conversation we had on the episode yesterday was he was most likely going to get cut or released. The tough part of the situation, obviously, outside of what happened in that, but when you're looking at the cap and all of that, you're going to have to take on some of that hit, and then that just is what it is in situations like this. You are going to free up. Did you say what is it, $1.5 million, Jeff? But they're still probably going to have to go through all these different legal scenarios to void a contract. As I was reading over here, I think Eric Schlitt also put a couple of things out. He actually did an article breaking it down. I haven't had time to dive into it, but kind of breaks that down as well. So it's just interesting how Brad's going to do it. I don't know how you guys feel, but I do have a lot of faith in Brad Holmes to be able to figure this out. And he's someone as well as like, yeah, there's been times where people go at him for the timing of not trading for a defensive end when you need it, going at different corners at the trade, like just different things. To me, it still feels like Brad's going to find a way to replace Cam, knowing the situation now, whether he's going to change his focus a little bit. Now, we thought maybe he was done in free agency. Now he has to go back to that and kind of maneuver that around. So there's going to be different things Brad does. I'm happy we have the GM we do, because some GMs probably would have situations like this and not be able to kind of rebound from it. He's going to find a way to rebound from it, find more money. It sucks because that now cap goes like you're losing out without a player with some of your cap, which does take a little bit of a hit, which hurts. Especially like we're going to have the conversation about Josh Reynolds later when you're trying to pay a guy like him and you have to pay a little more. There's just these situations to where this money, when you're trying to build a Super Bowl team, every dollar and every million, whatever it is, really does matter. So I'm interested to see what Brad does. Hopefully as well, Cam is found. I can't believe that he had turned himself in, especially after it came out yesterday. And that in like today's world, they can't track him down and no one's been able to find him. That is kind of as well a bit worrying in my head as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have to address the cornerback spot now that Cam's left. I understand that you can take a corner in the first round, but even so, I don't think that fills the void that Cam Sutton left, because I think they're going to add another corner through the draft regardless. And when you look at how many picks, I think it's going to be hard for them to double up at a position at least that can make an impact. So when you look at the free agents out there, we brought up Ahkello Witherspoon, because you can't, as much as we like the Meek Robertson signing, you can't trot him out there as your cornerback two in the NFC North. I'm sorry, you just can't, especially with the addition of Keenan Allen. I just think that's disaster waiting to happen with an injury. Like if Carlton Davis misses a couple games now, Meek Robinson's number one, you have issues again. So I look at Ahkello Witherspoon, Patrick Peterson, another former veteran corner that was just playing with Pittsburgh. So I think he'd be a good fit. Obviously, Stefon Gilmore we talked to, but there's still liable options. But I don't expect Brad to break the bank with a trade or with a big signing. There's not even anybody that can go out and sign at this point, but there'll definitely be a move made in free agency and the draft, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, guys, especially talking about corners and who they should add, like to me, and we've talked about him a lot, Stefon Gilmore is probably my favorite. And I know you kind of were on the bring Stefon Gilmore to Detroit train, Lucas, for a while there, and we were backing you up there. I just think it makes a lot of sense now because, again, you bring a guy in who's played a lot of postseason games. He's still playing at a high level. He'd come onto your roster and be arguably your best man-to-man corner. So unless you like Carlton Davis, but I would take Gilmore in that area, even if he's 33. So he provides a lot of value. You can give him a 1-year deal, and I still wouldn't rule out drafting a corner in the first round or second, because that way, kind of to your scenario, Lucas, you get a veteran corner who can come play right away, and then you have someone you can kind of mold, and then next year he can kind of take the reins. So, I think that's a win-win scenario. To me, guys, like bring Stefon Gilmore home. Bring him to the Detroit Lions. They need a player. It just makes too much sense. You get 2 6'1" corners on each. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Don't you guys get this feeling though? It's like Cam Sutton at the end of the day, like he was a vet, like a very good vet for you in that room. Like brought a lot to that corner room. As much as some people might have gone at him towards the end of his tenure here in the Lions the last couple of weeks, he was like a big time vet and a voice in that defense. To me, it's not just finding a corner. I look at it, it's you have to find a veteran that can come in there and you have like Carlton Davis. Yes, he is a vet. It's just like getting to Stefon Gilmore, who's been in the league for a while, has been in the playoffs, has the experience. You need that on your defense, especially now that like CJ Gardner-Johnson, who was a voice, he's gone. You have Alex Anzalone. It's just that secondary. You need, in my opinion, in that secondary, if you're trying to build that secondary up, you need a kind of a veteran presence. I think Stefon Gilmore is perfect for that because it's like now it's not like a week ago to when Lucas, like when we were talking about this as well, to where we were like, even though you got Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson, you could still bring in Stefon Gilmore and he's there. Now it's like, no, Cam's not there anymore. You need to replace Cam. You can't just go out and get a rookie to replace a Cam Sutton, even if it's in the first round. Like he's maybe his skills up there, but as a vet in the league and knowing your way around the league, that isn't like something now. Now that's something you truly have to look at is that veteran and that experience he has. You have to replace that now. To me, it's like almost a must because we saw how bad that position was last year. You can't have any slip ups anymore.
Yeah, and to Jeff's point, real quick, is just they can't add another 5'9", 5'10", 5'11" corner. They can't do that because you signed that with Amik Robertson. You need to replace because Cam's downfall. Not only was he not the fastest corner, especially the injury, but he was getting bodied by big body wide receivers. We already got one in Carlton Davis, but like you guys, Stefon Gilmore, the one comment that I keep seeing that I'll try to find it, but people talking about Marshawn Lattimore, guys, that's not happening. As much as you want, because he restructured his contract, and everybody's like he's going to get traded. The Saints are going to trade a guy that's a cornerback one that just restructured his contract. So the whole Marshawn Lattimore thing, as much as I would love for that to happen, that's not going to happen. But even a guy like, I know we just talked about the hype, but since it's so late in free agency, I wouldn't rule out like an Adoree Jackson from New York because he does have injury concern. Brad likes it. He's athletic. He contributes on special teams as a returner as well. So especially with the injury with Khalif Raymond, we really don't know what's going on with that. That's another guy that I could see bringing in outside of Stefon Gilmore, Patrick Peterson, and Ahkello Witherspoon because he's actually a very elite player when he's healthy. I shouldn't say elite, but a very good player. It's hard for him to stay on the field.
Yeah, and that's why, I mean, Stefon checks a lot of boxes for me. Again, if you want to bring up his age, last year, that Packers game to end the year, it wasn't a great performance for him, but it wasn't a great performance for the entire Cowboys defense. So let's get that straight too. Like if you take the whole season in totality, he's still a good corner. And if you think he can be better than Cam Sutton, I think that's a no-brainer. And you don't have to commit to him long-term. There's other corners out there. I just like the experience. I like the player. It's not just, he's experienced because it's like, can you play at a decent to high level? And I think you can. So, it makes a lot of sense. You don't have to give him a long-term deal. There's other players out there. You brought up Patrick Peterson, but I would prefer Stefon Gilmore personally. And I think you would agree with that.
Yeah.
Hey, boys, I just want to throw this out there. I know we're on Lions, and this is a really good conversation. I do have the Oakland Grizzlies up like right next to me.
I'm watching it too, Boone.
They're up 38-35. I'm about to put this tweet out on my Twitter. This Jack, I don't know how to pronounce this, Jack Golke. This man is an absolute flamethrower. He has 7 3-pointers in the first half. 7 3-pointers in the first half. 7 3-pointers is my career high in my life that I've ever had in a game. I couldn't imagine. He is shooting the ball into the ocean. Not even the ocean, the galaxy right now. That man's throwing the ball in the air, and it's just going into the air, and it's going. This is absolutely insane. I've
if
never
there's a
seen
team, and if there's a team that's known for getting bounced in the first round of March Madness, it's Kentucky. Like a team that has a squad and they just sleep.
Yep.
Yeah, Coach Cal, great coach, but in the tourney, he struggles a little bit. He either makes a deep run or he's getting bounced first 2 rounds.
100%. I think he got bounced last year in the first round. I'm pretty sure.
I almost picked Oakland just for that reason. I'm like, no way. I'd be like, no way. And then, hey, there is a way. There's always a way.
Hey, shout out to, if anyone in the chat knows, Travis Bader. I grew up when I got into basketball. Travis Bader was like my LeBron James. I used to go to Oakland games when I was in 8th grade, and Travis Bader was an abs. I looked at him like I looked he was like a star to me. And then my best friend now was Travis Bader's roommate in college. So that's just a full circle story of my life.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to some Detroit Lions, baby.
I want to give a shout out to some people here that just became members. Because, of course, why not? We got Mike Reed. Thank you, Mike Reed. Became a Crunch member. Jules became a Crunch member as well. Thank you. And then, of course, my guy Evan Cold Cuts.
Great name. Great name.
Evan,
Cold
Love
Cuts.
that name.
Shout out Evan. He just – what is that? Is that LeBron in the Sprite commercial?
It definitely is. The Christmas commercial.
I think so.
It's legendary. And then Dante151, thank you for the $2. Says Colorado State in 24 minutes only has 17 points. Jesus. My God.
Yeah, and I took Colorado State +3, so you know how my day's going, boys.
Yep. There you go.
I feel like Dante donates every show, man.
I know Dante's he's just chopping it up with the boys, but he's just sending a couple super chats, just communicate. I love Dante, man. He's a real one. Yeah, sure. Also, speaking of Lions news, guys, someone visited the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
It's weird, right? Like a player that, I don't know, we talked about potentially leaving, Mr. Josh Reynolds. And I'll get that on the screen for you. He is doing his tour, his free agency tour. Josh Reynolds, a very fine NFL player. He's a good wide receiver 3, a good wide receiver 2, but a really good wide receiver 3. He's a great piece to any wide receiver core. And Adam Schefter put out Lions free agent wide receiver Josh Reynolds. He put Reynolds is on his way to Baltimore to visit Friday. Wow. He just butchered this whole thing. But anyway, visit Friday with the Ravens. Hey, you know what? You know what, fellas? You could have them.
What's that, Hefe?
Yeah, I'm at that.
Hey,
I'm with you.
Hey, Ravens. Bit. Hey, Ravens. Here, I will listen. You can have them, and that's not a bad. I'm not trying to come at Josh Reynolds. Again, he was productive. He's reliable. But like we talked about ad nauseum, and this is more to Josh, go get a bet, go get your money. We're cool. Mm-hmm. DPJ's fine. They'll draft a wide receiver. JMO, like Steve Wilds just put, JMO needs more reps. I'm with him 100%. Hey, Josh, enjoy it. Hopefully Lamar can get you as much involved as Jared got you, and go get your money. I don't know how much the Ravens have actually to pay you, but hey, go get your money. I have no problem with this, to be honest. I mean, we were expecting it. I know somebody commented on a stream, and me and Booner kind of talked about it. Someone was saying how we think he'd be cheap. None of us thinks he'll be cheap. The biggest thing we talked about is we thought, and we're right, obviously, Josh Reynolds, we thought he'd take a little tour, visit some teams, and sign with another team. And guys, that's how it's going right now. So Josh Reynolds departing from the Lions, most likely.
He's just, what's going to happen is his market's going to outbid it, not outbid itself. I'm trying to think of the terms to use here. It's going to outdo itself here in Detroit, to where Brad, and I don't know where you guys are at with this. I personally feel like the reason he's going on this visit is that to me makes it obvious that him and the Detroit Lions have not been able to kind of come together on hey, this is kind of our price. And it seems like they're at two different spots. That would be my guess, is that the Lions are a bit lower than he wants and other teams are offering. So he's like, I'm going to go shop around. I'm going to go take a visit. I'm going to go meet with teams. And typically, when you go meet with the teams, obviously you don't sign there right away, but that shows you're looking to go somewhere. And it's probably a good spot for Josh Reynolds, to be honest. They do have a couple guys on that team, Rashad Bateman, Nelson Aguilar, to where Josh could probably actually be a 2 there at points, most likely for the season, because Odell Beckham's just left there as well. So I think it would be good for him. I'm on the side here, and I'm sure Lukas is in the same boat, and you too, Jeff, to where I'm just not going to sit here and pay him a top dollar money for his position where he feels like he deserves. Maybe it's like 12 million, or I don't know what he thinks, like what the market is for him. Now you're taking on the money, the 10 million for Cam Sutton, and he's not going to be playing. And you're just, it's pennies, man. Like, you have to save pennies, and you have to make sure you do the right thing. And if you can get a rookie and get a guy on a rookie deal who's going to produce almost as much as, let's say, Josh Reynolds would have, like if J-Mo and a rookie can put up the numbers 800 or 900 yards combined and do what Josh Reynolds did, or 1,000 right there on those deals, 2 rookie deals, you just won that, in my opinion.
Yep. Boys, it's the year.
Talk to me.
He was wearing 9 last year, but somebody had to get arrested. So the number 1 is available. That boy J-Mo, the boy from Bama, is about to get in his bag. Now, I'm not saying, you guys aren't either, that he's going to get 1,400 yards, 13. He's going to get, like we said, probably close to 800-900 yards. But it's the year of J-Mo. And the fact that, because I agree with you guys that he probably is wanting a little bit more coming off the year that he is. But I think the Lions, if they weren't confident in J-Mo, they'd be like, Josh, yeah, we'll need you back. We'll be willing to figure a way to get this deal done. But they're letting him go to the Ravens of all teams, which are the contenders. They're letting him visit. So that shows you that, A, probably not going to be coming back, because I feel like when the Lions are trying to bring their guys back, they just get it done. When you look at Graham, they just got it done. When you look at who else did they re-sign? Dan Skipper, they just got it done.
I mean, Germ they got too.
Germ, yeah, exactly. So it's just like one of those things where if they're talking, usually as the days go on, the guy's going to be out the door. So Josh, I'm happy you're going to Baltimore. If that's where you sign, go chase a ring. But I'm happy to see what they're going to do in the draft with the receiver. And I think the year of J-Mo is about to be upon us.
I can't wait to see Jameson Williams out there as a number 2.
Mm-hmm.
We put that graphic out today from Jeff Risden with that really mysterious word on it.
I
don't even know. I've never heard of the word before, to be honest. I couldn't even say it now.
Well, let me see if I can find it right. I think he used the word ebullient.
Ebullient.
Yeah.
I don't know. In his bag. He was in his bag on that.
Yeah, that was a bag. I mean, Lukas even posted the definition of it like that. Man, he definitely got his bag.
What the best part is Gentry said when he made the graphic, he had to look the definition up. When he sent me the graphic for me to post, I had to look it up, and then Lukas saw it posted, and he was like, dude, I have to look this up. Yeah, all 3 of us.
I heard him say the word like when he was talking about him, and I was like, dude, what the? I was like, it's obviously positive, but I was like, I have no clue what the hell this word means. I know Chef said he was used to be an English teacher, so I'll definitely need to take some Chef Talks English classes here soon. Yeah, talking to all these reporters with their deep vocabulary bags. I'm going to be outmanned there.
I mean, journalism. I'm pretty good at literature, but I never use ebullient. Ebullient, I think it is. Damn,
there's no teaching me. I'll just do what it is, man.
Hey, Jeffrey Collum. I mean, he's making an appearance. He says, I say we sign Bobby Boucher and make him our replacement for Sutton. I mean, Jeffrey Collum.
Maybe that's what Matty Betts is. That's Matty Betts. Obviously on the D line, but that's the Bobby Boucher.
Yep. That's what it is, baby. I think we all agree here. I mean, Josh Reynolds, again, how it ended leaves a bad taste in Lions fans' mouth. Like, they don't want to deal with it. I get that. But again, we can't forget how reliable he was all year. I get he wasn't reliable in the biggest moment. Understood. I understand that. But for me, it was more of like the value. I would rather have DPJ at the price they paid than Josh at what he would ask for. That was me. We went through the stats. I mean, DPJ's best year was better than Josh Reynolds has ever had. And that's just being real. And then Amari Cooper came to Cleveland, and DPJ just sunk out of the rotation. And now he's with the Lions, and he got traded in the middle of the season. So give him an offseason, give him a training camp. He got some experience on the offense. I think a full offseason, I do think DPJ can fill that role, because he's more of he can play special teams, but Jamal's really your number 2. He's going to be a guy you kind of just like, hey, DPJ catch, Josh averaged 3-4 catches a game, 40-50 yards. He was just consistent. DPJ can do that if you need him.
He did too with this move and him going to visit the Ravens. That to me just shows like the Lions, if this does happen, I'm almost guaranteeing there's going to be a wide receiver drafted in the first 3 rounds here. With what, as deep as his wide receiver class is, there's going to be a wide receiver off the boards to the Detroit Lions if Josh Reynolds does not return. Now I will die on that hill. I will die on it.
And I think what's going to be interesting too is especially how they approach DPJ, because if I'm Antoine Randall L and I see Donovan Peoples-Jones walk in my receiving room, I'm like, wow, like this is a guy that I can really tap into and unleash a bag. So I wouldn't be surprised if we talk about that X wide receiver that the Lions need. If they don't take a wide receiver in the first round, maybe in the second round, and they go kind of like a Ricky Pearsall type of guy, Malachi Corley, if they're like, DPJ, you're going to be the DJ Chark this year, because he has all the potential in the world to be an X wide receiver, not a high-end one, but he has the build just to be, put him at your wide receiver 3 as an X. If there's red zone, 3rd and 15, Amon-Ra's not open, their blanket, just throw it up to somebody. DPJ is a guy that can come down with the jump ball. So I think how he develops in the offseason too will impact the draft too. And
what does he run? Probably like a 4.4?
Probably like a 4.4, 4.5, but he's so long. Like he's one of those, and me and Booner kind of talked about it because we were talking about his returning abilities. He's one of those guys where he's not the quickest, but once he gets up to speed, he's a tough receiver to bring down because he's like 6'3", 6'4". You're
talking about DPJ, right?
DPJ, like he's a big boy. Like DPJ. Because remember we were talking about him returning the one day.
He's a returner.
I don't like him as a returner. Like, and he even took a couple this year after Khalif got hurt. He didn't really do anything because that's what we were talking about. Booner was like, once he gets 10 yards, he's at full speed.
And I know some people asking about where Mike is. Mike is the Red Wings are playing sometimes. Mike he does cover the Red Wings. That's kind of his job to be locked in. And
it's a big game today.
It's a huge game. So he's going to be here in the second hour. But for right now, we do have a guest joining the show. I mean, come on. Do we even need this man?
Go, baby.
Look out! We even need to introduce this man. I mean, come on. MicroMike. I mean, the GOAT. Look at Mike joining the show. Of course, you can check him out. Lions Talk by Chat Sports. I'll have all the links in the description like we always do. Mike, how you feeling today, my man?
I'm feeling pretty good right now, man. I mean, you said Mike is not here, and then another Mike comes in, so I'm the replacement. So we are good to go, fellas.
Well, Mike, I need your immediate reaction to kind of just, and I know you've been covering it on your channel as well, but just kind of talk about what transpired today. The Lions officially released Cam Sutton. I want to ask you your reaction to that and kind of the plans following that. Do you expect the Lions to add another corner? We all advocate for Stefon Gilmore. Where are you at with the news and what the Lions will do next?
First off, it was shocking, wasn't it? Cam Sutton, of all the people you're thinking about doing such a devious thing to what is his girlfriend? It's crazy. He's on the run. Like, what in the hell are we watching here?
For weeks now.
Jeez, I know it's definitely crazy. We'll figure out with the money and financial situation that'll get taken care of. It absolutely sucks, but I guess when he was unproductive, it's a good way to release him anyways. A lot of people were unhappy with his production or lack thereof. And I am with you. I think Stefon Gilmore would be a good replacement. I think you got to get a rookie, but at the same time, you need a veteran because we need to win now. It's not developing time, right? We can't have the hiccups in week 1, week 4, week 5. We need to start winning now. And Stefon Gilmore, I think, would really help that. It'd be an easy transition if you got him and you picked up the rookie, and then the cornerback position can get a little bit better. But what a weird thing. And look, man, you got to turn yourself in, Sutton. You got to do it, man. I mean, it looks really bad that you're on the run. And, I don't know what he's thinking, what's going through his brain, but he needs to get his head squared away.
For sure. Mike, I think I see back there as well. I see Jared Goff throwing some passes to JMO back there.
Yeah, apparently they're throwing some passes to JMO back. They're like stuck in one exact position. So I think I got them frozen right there. We'll see how it works.
Frozen. It's weird. No, I want to stay on the defensive end here, Mike, with the Cam Sutton stuff. And obviously, like, Brad's made a ton of moves on the defense. I think since the last time we talked to, I think like about a week or two ago, with Davenport and the 2 corners and as well as DJ Reader. Are you pretty confident with the defense now? Obviously, with Cam Sutton, there's going to have to be probably another corner added or some sort of depth there at that piece. But are you pretty confident with those moves he's made or like to where this team can kind of get into that top 15 defense in the NFL this year?
Yeah, man, I really am. And I don't put that much stock into free agency like a lot of people. Mine is more the NFL draft. I think it's more importantly, that's where you get your building blocks and your cornerstones for this football team. They got Marcus Davenport. One big high on him. I'd love to see the Lions to draft an edge, probably early in the draft. I think that would be really good. And same with the corner, but they did pretty good in free agency, right? I mean, they got DJ Reader to help stop the run. They turn around, traded for Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson. They hit the needs that they needed. The guard with the Zeitler move was great. Absolutely love that move. And so now in the draft, besides the Cam Sutton situation, they can go in any different direction they want to. They can go wide receiver. They can go offensive line. They could go defensive line. I mean, they set themselves up really well. And I'm never a proponent of just getting every single high-end free agent on the team, because eventually you got to let them go, or like a Trey Flowers situation where you're letting your own guys go. So you don't want that to happen. So I think he hit this free agency is about as well as I'd want him to do.
Yeah, Mike, and we just kind of had the conversation before you joined about Josh Reynolds. He's visiting Baltimore on Friday. What do you think happens there? And if he does decide to sign elsewhere, where do you think the Lions, what do you think their next move is with Donovan Peoples-Jones, who they just re-signed at a much cheaper price?
First off, man, I like Josh Reynolds, but we cannot overpay for him to be here at number 3, number 4, whatever he's going to be. So, look, I wish him the best, and I hope I do like him. I'd like for him to come back, but it's looking like it's not going to happen. Donovan Peoples-Jones is a great supplement, folks, and he was really starting to get cooking with Jared Goff by the end of the season. He's a big body guy, contested catch. I love the trade when we got it. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I'm like, we need to re-sign him. Yeah, he can cover the Josh Reynolds spot. He really can. And then you got Jamison Williams, who's going to be the number 2, and they could get another wide receiver in the draft. This offense is going to hum anyways, folks. We already know this offense is going to hum. It's going to be good. It's going to be good, and I think Peoples-Jones can do it. We'll see what they do at the wide receiver position if Reynolds signs. Maybe they just go ahead and draft one. Antoine Green is still on the football team. They can utilize him. But, look, Josh Reynolds, wish him the best. Hopefully you get the best money. And if we do have to face the Ravens, if he signs there in the Super Bowl or something like that, just continue to drop those 4th downs.
It's facts. That's facts.
Yeah, Mike, to kind of your point there. Sorry, I have a mic unplugged for some reason, so I'm trying to fix that. I'm with you on the Josh Reynolds stuff. It's like, yeah, he's great. He was consistent up until when he needed to be the most consistent and wasn't. I think TPJ some of that production. I want to ask you, Brad Holmes, we know this man simps for Alabama players. 2 things he simps for in the draft: injured players and Alabama players. Maybe a little Iowa in there, too. I want to sprinkle a little Iowa in there. That's fine, too. But he was at the pro day. Industry ran the 40. Ran a pretty good 40 with a bad foot. I'll ask you, at least position-wise, what would if you're in Brad's position, because we know he likes BPA. It's how he always addresses the draft. But when speaking about corner, we had this debate on the show a lot, drafting a corner, trading up for an edge, trading up for a corner. Where are you at? You think Kool-Aid McKinstry could be in the picture there? Maybe another corner, another edge. Where are you at with it?
Oh, absolutely. He's in the mix there because he's around in that area where he'll be available around the 29 area. And if he's sitting there, of course, we love our Alabama players and we need a corner. I mean, losing Cam Sutton is significant. I know a lot of people don't think it is because his play was poor on the field, but Booner was saying earlier when I was listening, he brings leadership to that team and he knows the defense. So that is something that the Lions need to get better at the cornerback position, and they could do that in the draft. Kool-Aid McKinstry, I do like him. I like the Toledo Torpedo the most. I think this guy would be amazing on this defense, and I am willing to trade up a couple spots to acquire him. He is a physical guy. I love how he hits. I think he would be great on this defense. He's exactly what we want. That's my number 1 guy. If I'm sitting at 29, I mean, he could go at like 23, 20. Trade up and get him, man. Trade up and get him. Let's get this guy on this defense and make this thing powerful. Because if you could get some pass rush, imagine having him out there. Say they get a Stefon Gilmore or somebody else. Then you got the safeties and Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, and Afutu Melifonwu. We're talking about turnovers, and we're talking about bringing the pain. And so I would love for the Lions to get him.
Dog, by the way.
Oh, he is. Quinyon, we saw him at the combine, and I think all of us on our show here when we were in Indy, we all like left and went back to the hotel and we're like, yep, Quinyon Mitchell is an absolute dog that he needs to be in Detroit. Want to throw this out there too, just sticking with this draft talk. Is there anyone that kind of is on your radar, Mike, that you maybe that people aren't talking about that you really love, especially I would say in the first 3 rounds? There's a lot of different positions that people want, like edge, offensive lineman, still receiver, corner. Is there anyone, and really to be honest, specifically like an edge or something that you're like, we need to bring him in Detroit as well in these first 3 rounds?
Well, obviously everybody knows Jared Verse, but I've been seeing in mocks that Leia Lotu has been falling a little bit.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love that pick as well, because we do need to get it better at the edge position. If he does fall, if the Toledo Torpedo ain't there, that would be an option for the Detroit Lions. I don't know if it's really an under the radar move, but that would be something that the Lions could immediately get. I think you can go guards in the 3rd round, maybe in the 5th round too, if they really want. There's a lot of good guards in this year's draft. So that's an option. Everyone knows about Cooper Beebe and Jackson from Oregon. There's some players that the Lions get, but you're right. I really want them to get a top-end edge somehow, because I think if you can pair them up with Aiden Hutchinson, this defense can go to the next level. I really want them to go this route. And there's 2 good edges, the LL and JV and Jerver. So if they can get one of those guys, I'd be very pleased.
Mike, we all expect, you said it earlier, the Lions offense, it's going to hum either way. After a year of all these rookie players developing, second year, etc., where do you think at the end of 2024 this Lions offense will rank among the NFL?
That's a great question. I think it's going to get better, because I feel like the offensive line got better with Zeitler. I think he's an upgrade over Jonah Jackson. Let's do it here. I'm going number 1 in the NFL. Lions offense.
Number 1?
Number 1 in the NFL.
I love that.
How are you going to be able to stop this when you have 4 first-round picks on the offensive line? Zeitler is one of the best pass blockers. Jared Goff is going to continue to just sit there and pick folks apart. This offense is really good, and the more that everybody gets into it, like Jahmyr Gibbs, right? He started a little bit slow last year, but now he's coming in. He knows the system. It's not going to be slow. So I think this team can go to number 1.
Mike, an interesting point, and I'm glad it's good transition, because we're talking about a top 15 defense. You said a potential number 1 offense. When you look around in the NFC North, and I'm sure you saw the Greeny comments of him kind of the windows closed for the Detroit Lions. Where are you at with just the outlook of the NFC North and what the Bears have been doing? I mean, I said that I've been saying this too. I'm curious, because I like Caleb a lot, but the Bears are buying a whole new team. You need both. You need to be able to draft talent, because that helps with sustaining success, and you have to be good in free agency. Like, I get that. What do you make of the Bears? Because the Packers are kind of a more obvious one. I get that, but just the Bears being a player for years to come. How do you feel about the NFC North for the next couple of years, competing with the Lions?
Well, I definitely disagree with Mike Greenberg, and he doesn't really necessarily look at every team. He's not specialty in football. He's just kind of one of those commentators. So I don't really take anything that he says. So dude's a Jets fan. So I don't really take a whole lot of stock in what he has to say. The Lions window is open for a long time, and the reason why it's open for a long time is because you have Brad Holmes, who can draft players and replace players whom we lose. We may lose Josh Reynolds. I have no doubt that he'll be able to replace it. This is what good teams do. They're able to draft well, and if you consistently draft well, you're going to be good. Chicago Bears, you're right, man. They're spending a lot of money, and at some point, that's got to come home to roost. But probably for about 3 years, they're going to be good. 3-4 years. Caleb Williams is going to be a rookie. He's going to make mistakes this year. But I don't think they're going to compete to be the number 1 team. I think they're probably going to be a number 3. But after that, when Caleb starts to get his feet under him, and if he does well, look, they got a good defense over there in Chicago. Really good defense. In their offense, they got some pieces. So I'm not saying they're going to be juggernauts, but they're definitely going to be much improved for the next couple of years. We'll see how Caleb Williams works. I really cannot draft a quarterback that cries, and maybe the men in the locker room may not like his leadership skill, because I don't know about you guys, but if you're crying after a game with your mom, it's really difficult to follow somebody like that. I was in the Army, and if that occurred after some sort of incident we had or a training exercise, I'd be like, man, I don't know if I'm going to follow this guy to battle. So that's just something from my perspective. But I think Chicago's got a better upside right now than Minnesota. I do. I think they're in a better position to be a better team for the long haul. And Green Bay, they're good, right? I don't think they're number 1 team in the NFC North, unbeatable, but they're good. And Minnesota, of course, I don't know what's going on over there, so we'll figure them out. But yeah, I think Chicago, they'll be good for a couple of years, but at some point when Caleb's got to get that massive deal, all these people that they paid, all these players on defense, they're going to have to get cut. We've seen it 100 times over in the NFL.
Real quick too, I'm going to say this is kind of an in-season question, and I feel like I actually have heard it a lot the last couple of days around national media. I think it might have been Colin Coward who actually brought this up, and if anyone here knows if I'm wrong, but this whole Dan Campbell scenario going into next season, obviously the end of the year there was hey, does he need to kick field goals? Does he need to do this, that? So this is like an in-season question, kind of. Where do you stand on this with Dan Campbell? It just popped in my head when you guys were talking about the window in the north and all of this. Do you think that's something Dan needs to change, or they need to go out and get a new kicker? And then with that, it's like, hey, do you think Dan even changes, or is it no, stay aggressive, be you, go out there and keep doing that into this year? Let's go win a Super Bowl like that. Where do you stand on that? I know it's a weird question, but that kind of the open window there kind of brought me into that.
When it comes to kicker position, I fully expect them to draft one, and you always want competition at the kicker, just let the best man win. When it comes to fourth downs, I like his aggressiveness. I think sometimes he's got to slow it down, but we wouldn't have been in the NFC Championship game if he didn't go for it on fourth down multiple times throughout the NFL season. I don't think we would have 12 wins. I think his aggressiveness worked against the Chargers game. I think it worked against other teams that we faced this year. And I think you have to kind of do that sometimes. Now, should he have kicked the field goals in the championship game? Yeah, maybe he's got to learn his lesson just a little bit. Just slow it down just a tad bit. But in all honesty, I don't want him to become a Jim Caldwell. Right, I want him to be. I still want that aggressiveness. I like it. Yep. Look, it's all about game dictation, right? So if the Lions are dominating the line of scrimmage in a game, we're consistently dominated. Okay, 4th and 1, then go for it. But if we're getting dominated, like we can't get these small yards, maybe you should not go for it. I think it's kind of a situation like that, a feeler of that specific game.
Situational awareness. We've talked about that on this show a couple times.
Adaptability, baby.
Yeah, and somebody who does not have situational awareness is Cam Sutton, Mike. And I think with all this news coming around, people are going to kind of look at the cornerback room and almost not forget about the safety depth, but I feel like it's going to be kind of drowned out now. What do you think the Lions do? Because I still think they need a depth piece at the safety position. How do you think they address that following the Cam Sutton news?
Man, they could do it in free agency. Get a veteran back there. It won't cost a whole lot. They could do it in the draft. I don't know. It's so hard to tell with what Brad Holmes does. I don't know how you guys think, but like with Bob Quinn or Mayhew is so much easier to find out what they're going to do. But here it's like out of nowhere they make a move for safety. You could get just a cheap veteran. I'm not looking to get some big name. I'm not looking for anything like that. I feel like the 3 safeties that we got are really good, and I want to see them on the field. So I wouldn't spend a whole lot to get a veteran safety. If they want to get one in the draft, hey, go for it. It's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah, good stuff, Mike. We appreciate you taking the time today. We want to get you back out, at least especially closer to the draft, because we got some things planned for the draft we want to involve you in. But Mike, you're the GOAT. All the times you joined us, taking time out of your day, man, we will not forget it. And by the way,
he's doing the Eminem.
We got to do some collabs. We got to do some collabs, Mike. We got to cook, Mike, because we're
man. I'm gonna be in the Detroit area for the draft. I don't know where you guys are gonna be at, but maybe we can stop up there. I know Herm and I were doing something. I haven't figured out exactly where we're at, but if I can't do it day 1, I could definitely do it day 2 for sure. Come on down and hang out with the fellas if you guys are gonna be somewhere. So I don't know.
No.
You guys
we'll be down there for sure.
Yeah, we'll be down there.
Well, then, man, we got to get a couple drinks. We got to have some fun. Absolutely.
Let's go.
Epic.
Let's go, Mike.
There you go, MicroMike. You can check him out. Link will be in the description. Lions Talk by Chad Sports. Mike, we'll talk to you soon, my man.
Appreciate you, Mike.
This guy, dude.
There's
only one MicroMike. All right, there's only one.
Yeah, one of one.
Yeah, he's one of one. And again, we definitely got to link up with him before the draft.
For sure. It'll be a lot of fun. That'd be awesome to have Mike. Or to go down there and hang out with Mike, have a drink with him. That'd be unbelievable.
You could tell he was in the military. He has a death stare. Man, he definitely has a death stare. Intimidating. No doubt about that. Guys, I want to get right into it. We'll transition here. The 33rd team came out with their mock draft, full first round mock draft, which I want to do our own version of that at some point. I know Luke, you there, Luke? Okay, you can, as long as you can hear us, you're good.
Is it acting weird?
Yeah, but we can hear you, but your picture is just frozen. It's like blurry and frozen. So
Well,
it's just like
you guys are still fine for me, so hopefully it'll catch back up in a second.
Okay, yeah, I'm not
still
worried about it. We'll just have Lucas. It's still you. You're just
The
looking
voice.
at it.
it's the
That worked
voice
out.
of Lucas. It's like the Oz. He's like the voice.
Well, 33rd team did a full first round mock draft, which actually, fellas, we're gonna do very soon. I want to do one where we each have alternating picks. We could even do tomorrow if you guys want, and we'll just do like a 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, where us four have alternating picks and we just do a whole first round. I'll do it and you guys kind of give your picks. I think it'll be a lot of fun that way. But
you know what? Don't give me the first pick because I'll take Jaden Daniels on you guys.
I mean, then I'll take the second and I'll take a franchise quarterback. Huh? How about that? How about that?
It would actually be interesting for us to do that because we can all do whatever we want, whatever we feel like works, and it's like we could be wrong, right? It would be good. That'd be fun.
But
am I still frozen for you boys?
Yeah.
Go double screen and I'll go out and I'll reset it real quick. Just so I'm not frozen.
All right, I'm gonna take you off. I'm gonna take you off of here then, real quick.
Yeah.
All right. So let me put this up. Actually, hold up. He's back. I looks like he's back.
Is it good now?
Yeah. Wait. Now you're good.
I literally did nothing. I did nothing.
I'm gonna say this in the waiting room. His picture and video looks clear, but when it gets on screen, it's like a little more blurry and freezes every once in a while. So I think we just roll through it.
It'll catch up. We're good. Let me get this fixed.
All
right. This is the first round, first 8 picks. We're going to kind of work our way up to the Detroit Lions selection, just so we can react to kind of who they took and where. They actually did a trade up as well in one of these, and you'll find out who made that trade. I want to get rid of this so people can see it. Okay, so number 1, Caleb Williams goes to the Bears. Jaden Daniels, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy. They have the New York Giants trading up to the Arizona Cardinals pick and taking J.J. McCarthy. So they jump the Chargers, so the Vikings can't trade up. Because if you're the Vikings, you can't trade up without knowing that New York won't jump you. You know what I mean? Because you have to be careful there. Because if you trade up to 5 and the Giants jump you, like you're screwed and you don't have it. I mean, you're done. So JJ goes to New York in this. The Chargers stay put, take Marvin Harrison. To me, that's a freaking,
that's their dream. They're dreaming for New York to jump to Arizona's spot.
Either New York or the Vikings. Someone jump us at 4. Like, please. I did see Marvin Harrison like to tweet about the Chargers as well, saying to go play with Justin. Like there was a tweet that was like,
I would.
Especially go play for the coach that whooped his ass while he was at Ohio State. That's hell yeah. Why wouldn't you? So Marvin Harrison to the Chargers makes perfect sense, and then Malik Neighbors. And of course, the Cardinals get assets, trade back, and still get a number 1 wide receiver. The only thing you're going to look back on is, was it worth it? And if Malik Neighbors lives up to his potential, then hey, you're good. But if Marvin Harrison's a Hall of Famer and Malik isn't, then you're fucked up. So I don't know about that move. I would stay put and take Marvin Harrison, but that's me. Malik Neighbors goes to the Cardinals. Joe Alt to the Titans, and then Quinyon Mitchell corner to Atlanta.
Wow, surprising to me.
At 8 in the top 10 is wow.
So especially when they have AJ Terrell, Clark Phillips III isn't anything great, but he's definitely solid. They need an edge. And Dallas Turner, I guess Raheem Morris is a former DB, so if he takes like a Terrion or a Quinyon, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think go get Dallas there for sure.
That's interesting in the top 10. I've not seen a mock draft yet of Quinyon Mitchell in the top 10. This is the first one.
Wow. I didn't see this.
Here's the next set of picks. So at 9, the Jags move up and take Rome Odunze. Which, hey, that's a move. It's a hell of a move.
Doesn't that make sense for them, too, to be honest?
Yeah.
Just lost Calvin Ridley.
And then Brock Bowers goes to the Jets. Dallas Turner lands right in Minnesota's lap, which is still a pretty good pick there. Jared Verse to the Broncos. Olu Fashanu to the Raiders. And then Brian Thomas Jr. to the Saints. Terrion Arnold to the Colts. Jerzon Newton to the Seahawks. I like that fit, too, to be honest with you. They do need a defense.
Hey, Jeff, shout out on saying Olu's name right. Shout out. I can hardly even do that.
Olu Fashanu?
After all the names I've butchered, Lucas, I'm trying to get in the bag here. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get in the bag here. All right, we'll go to the next set of picks. We're heating up, boys. Now you get to see who's taken. I want to do it that way. So you get to see, okay, you see the Lions pick, you're like, why? Where did this player go? Well, here we have the information for you. So let's get to the next set of picks, right? Let me see. Okay, so I want to show this one. The Bears pick again. So the Bears traded out of 9. And let me put this on screen here. All right. So this is the next set now, and this is where it gets a little interesting. I haven't seen some of these picks yet, at least teams making these moves, but here's the next set, okay? So 17 to 24, the Bears trade back. Fuaga goes to the Bears. Xavier Worthy to the Bengals. That's a
he's moving up.
John Ross here, is that what we're doing?
He's moving up. I mean, they had their pro day, and everything outside of the pro day was like Xavier Worthy was moving up in the draft, which I was kind of shocked.
Well, and
that's where Queen hits him on a slant route. Done.
Byron Murphy to the Rams. Am I crazy? Don't they have a Byron Murphy?
Yeah, they do.
Is it like a Byron?
ETN, drop in the chat. They have maybe it's Byron Young.
Oh, that's who it is. Byron Young. So they got the Byron all right, on the defensive line. And then you get Jackson Powers Johnson to the Steelers, and then Troy Fatanu to the Dolphins. Kool-Aid McKinstry to the Eagles, and then Bo Nix 22. To the Vikings at 23. So, and then you got, here's another one I have not seen, is the Cowboys taking Kingsley Sumataya. I think that's what it is, but that's who Scott Bischoff, which we got to have him on soon too. But he's the guy that, he was pumping up Kingsley a lot, and a lot of people have. So he goes to the Cowboys. Now we get to the Lions pick.
This Oakland guy just hit 9 threes. I'm sorry, boys, but
dude,
this is unbelievable. I'm a
basketball
basketball junkie. This is crazy. I know we're talking football, but geez, dude. They're up 52-40. I'm sorry. I'll keep you guys updated. I'm going to update you guys live here because I'm sure Neil he's said, of course, probably a million times.
Of course.
This kid is unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable.
So here's who the Lions took. Here's the next set of picks. Okay, here we go. The Packers took Graham Barton, offensive tackle. Bucks take Peyton Wilson. Cardinal. This is where I have a problem because if Latu is there, you got to jump. You got to jump. You got to jump.
I said it the other day. If he gets to like 22 or 23, or one of these edges get to like right past the 20s, just go up a couple spots and go get one of these guys. Just go get them.
I mean, let's be real. The Bucks, I would assume would be okay with trading back because Peyton Wilson, no one taking him in the next couple of picks. So I mean, he'll be there at 29. Okay, so trade up for Latu. Bucks move back, and then you get Latu. That's how I feel. Okay, anyway, Cooper DeJean goes to the Bills. Okay, they lost They lost what? Was it Jordan Poyer? I think
they lost both of them, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer.
So yeah, that makes sense. Cooper DeJean. I don't know if he falls this late, but if he does, yeah, I would see the Bills taking him. And then Keon Coleman to the Lions. Darius Robinson goes to the Ravens. Watch, Darius Robinson will be this freaking Pro Bowler with the Ravens. And then Amarius Mims to the San Francisco 49ers, and then Troy Franklin to the Chiefs. Boys, Keon Coleman. All right, we gotta have a conversation here. All right, because It's not even Keon because I think Keon is going to be a good player. My problem is just like the wide receiver in the first round thing. I'm just so off of that personally that when I see these mocks, I'm like, oh God, here we go. Like you can find a good wide receiver past the first round. Look at some of the top wide receivers. I mean, Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson, I would argue, and Tyreek Hill, you can even throw in there. None of them were top 20 picks. The other, actually, Justin was in the 20s, and then Devontae and Tyreek were both past the first round. So let's keep it a stack here. Like you don't have to have. You're not going to get Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., Brian Thomas Jr., given he doesn't fall Rome Odunze. So just trade back and get someone that's productive. That's where I'm at. Where are you guys at with the Keon Coleman stuff? How would you react if Keon Coleman was the pick?
Well, go ahead, Boone.
You can go. You can go because I'll follow off here. I'll follow.
I would say, well, Jeff, now that you just said all that, now you know the Lions are taking a wide receiver in the first round. Man, that's just going to be I wouldn't be surprised. I'm with you guys. Like, especially as much as I love Xavier Legette, if they took him at 29, of course I'd have a smile on my face. But there would be that taste in my mouth where I'm just like, it's a little premature. You could have traded back to at least like pick 40. You know what I mean? He'd still probably be there. But at the end of the day, fellas, I told you, and not like telling you guys like per se, but if the Lions do this, it's not a move for 2024. But that kind of goes back against what even Mike was saying, where it's like they're in a win now move. But if they go and get a wide receiver in the first round, he's going to be the wide receiver too. But it brings upside of having a potential T. Higgins, Jamar Chase in 2 or 3 years, which I think Brad playing at 29, taking best player available, maybe that's his mindset. Then go get a need in the second round, and then go in the third round, get your defensive end. But if they were to go like wide receiver, Max Melton, and then probably somebody that we wouldn't know about in the third round as far as the defensive end, maybe Mohamed Kamara, I wouldn't hate it, but it's not the worst draft. But to your guys' point, it's a little early.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I mean,
I'm in a similar boat. And two, I think, and I know Gentry was someone who early on, and me too, one of the drafts that I did early on before we went to the combine, I had Keon Coleman going to the Lions at 29 in one of the mock drafts we did on Mondays. And then when we got to the combine, obviously, I changed my mind a little bit. And then I did get to the point in Lukas, and you guys talked to me, hey, think about the on-field performance with that. That's where, to me, it's more so to your point, Jeff, like a Brian Thomas, like those guys that are kind of a different level. I think Keon's going to be really good in the NFL. Like, I really do. But get him in the first round, unless you're getting a guy that has that potential to really be your number one. Do I think Keon can do that? And he has that ceiling to do that? Yeah. Do I think he will on the Lions with Amon-Ra and the offense you have? Probably not. And J-Mo? Probably not. So I don't know. Like Lukas said, you could trade back and get more value for a Keon Coleman. And it's probably the same thing with Xavier Legette as well, to where you could probably trade back 10 spots, get some more draft capital, try and get another pick in the top 100, do something like that to where you can get more draft capital and you still land that same guy and kind of take that chance to where, again, fellas, it's a deep wide receiver class. You can get someone in the second, third round if you need to, and he's potentially going to give you just as much as a Keon Coleman would, because that's what you need. You don't need a number one right now. That's not where it's at, unless it's like already a guy who's established in the league, in my opinion. So I think you have to trade back if you're going to go Keon Coleman, if you're going to go Xavier Legette, get value out of it at least. Do that, because if not, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go get Darius Robinson, who just went to the Ravens. I'm going to grab him, and then I'll go in the second round, and I'll go get our wide receiver, who's going to be the number 2, number 3. That would be my plan.
Yeah, and I agree with that plan. I think Brad, and again, like, I just don't, it's not even about Keon. It's just the fact of a wide receiver. And if he thinks Keon is so good, this generational talent you can't pass up on, then so be it. I guess, yeah, take him. I mean, Brad Hall, again, like, we have every right to trust this man. So I get that. But again, we talk about Amon-Ra St. Brown, all-pro, Jameson, he's rising. You want him to get touches. And then you bring in another guy you want to be an integral part of your offense. And you got Sam Laporta, who's going to demand 5 to 8 targets a game. It's like, it's just an awkward fit, like, to me. Like, Keon is not going to, I say this, and you need a guy that, if you draft him in the first round late, not that it's not like he's a top 10 pick where you're feeding this man, but you're going to get him involved. Like, he's a first round pick, get him out there. He's going to make some plays. And I just don't know with how this offense moves. You spread the ball around so much. Like, I would rather have a defensive end who can come in right away. They need someone like that, or a corner. They need someone like that, or, somebody. And maybe I'm being a little ignorant with that, but that's how I feel.
Who moves the needle? That's where I'm at with the.
Yeah, and maybe they feel like Keon is again the generational talent who can move the needle and take us to the number one offense. Like, okay, you might have an argument there. It just doesn't make sense. I think you'd be happy with an Xavier Legette, Malachi Corley, whoever's there in the second round, which there'll be some Brennan Rice. I mean, at this point, I don't really care. I mean, I'll take a handful of guys. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know if Keon is that guy where I'm like, hey, Xavier Legette, Malachi Corley, Brennan Rice, get lost. Lad, get lost. We're rolling with Keon Coleman. Like, I don't know if the separation's that much. To me, not saying he won't be good, but I just don't think he's, again, Brian Thomas or any of these guys.
He is a piece, and one of the things he's really good at is going high pointing the ball and going up in the red zone and going, like, you can throw him up the ball and he can go make a play on it, which is what you don't have right now. So that's like to where the value for him. Yeah, that's something you do need, but at 29 might not be that play. And that's nothing against Keon too. I don't want people to think that, we don't think, again, I think Keon has a very high ceiling. Is going to be very good in the NFL. It's just about, again, like the NFL when in the draft, it's about fit. It's about what works the best. What does your team need? Positional value, all of that like comes into play. When you add all of that into it, maybe Keon isn't that guy at 29, but if you can get him a little bit later, he could be the guy.
I want to give a shout out here, Mike Reed. Thank you for the $5. We appreciate you. He says, bring in Gilmore and trade up for Quinyon Mitchell. So I can get with that, Mike, because now a weakness becomes a strength from last year. You get Quinyon and Stefon, Carlton Davis. Now we're not even blinking when it comes to the secondary. So I'm not even flinching. So I'm cool with that. Guys, I think we're all in lockstep here. The wide receiver thing, we all agree. No in the first round, please. No. If you want a guy,
I'm open for it. I'm not going to hate it as long as it's not Xavier Worthy. If it's Xavier Worthy, I'll lose my fucking mind. I might have to decompress for a good 36 hours after that.
Okay, that's fair. But I'm still against wide receiver. That's just in the first round.
Trust in Brad Holmes, brother. Yeah,
but it's like I don't also want to be boop boop boop. Trust Brad. Fair, I gotta be like, I'm trying to be like, I don't want a wide receiver. If he does
Booner path, trust Brad.
Mike's eyes.
But again, does he know more than us? Absolutely. I'd prefer not in the first round. That's just where I'm at, guys.
It'd be a boring ass show because at this point, if you're just like, trust Brad, like there's nothing. It's just like, oh, what's Brad doing today? You know what I mean? Cool. It's like we got to have our opinions about it. And if
conversations can be had.
If we're proven wrong, you can't just act like the man.
I'm not gonna lie. I want to be called out by Brad. You know what? Fuck it. Call me out in your presser. I want it. I kind of want it. It's I want the shout out. I want Brad Holmes to be like,
kid with the lunch lady hair talking shit.
Dude,
even you.
With that guy over there wearing a lunch net.
Yeah, you said Keon would be a bad pick. I was like, listen, Brad, I like the player. I just didn't like the fish. Shut up. You wanted hey, who'd you want? Kool-Aid McKinstry? Wow.
Yeah, Philly took him. Watch. Amon Ra just cooking him.
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, they got Keely Ringo. They took it. They got over there too.
Hey, can we talk about something else in that mock draft too that's non-lines related? Can you pull up the last picks? Again, what the hell are they doing just sneaking Troy Franklin in the first round? What the hell is that about? They have the Chiefs taking him. Troy Franklin. And I get I'm one of those guys who's like, don't let the combine fool you, yada, yada, yada. You go back and you watch the Oregon's offense. He's arguably the number 2 wide receiver as far as talent on that team, and he's strictly a deep guy. Like the Chiefs, if they were to take Troy Franklin, fine, in the second or third round, he is not a first-round wide receiver, in my opinion. Like the combine it wasn't even his times. It was physically watching him move and his mobility and his footworks. Like he can't
stumbled
keep his
a lot.
Under.
He stumbled a few times.
But to be real, if you're talking about developing wide receivers, if I'm talking about because it's not just quarterbacks when you talk about landing spots are important. I think Troy Franklin with Kansas City might be good for him. I think they could develop him, but. Yeah, I don't know if he's a first round pick, but I mean, we have to stop kind of relying on, not that you guys do this, but I even fall victim to this where we rely on PFF, not you, Lucas, but just general, this guy typically goes in the second round. I think people do that a lot. The draft never applies. You know what I mean? It's just if the Chiefs like Troy Franklin, we can work with this guy, then they're going to take him.
My thought with that is last year, and when you were kind of talking about the Brad stuff too, Jeff, to where or I think it might have been Lucas, the Xavier Worthy, he'd be mad after. It's just I go back to last year. We probably all 3 of us had conversations outside of doing a show or anything like that as well, that there was no chance that the Detroit Lions get Jahmyr Gibbs at 12. There was no chance, and it's just something that. A good GM, they just know what to do, and they know when the right time to take a guy. And we don't know. Maybe Troy Franklin is going to be really good with the Chiefs, or Keon Coleman could end up being, if the Lions take him, that's a dude, and he fits perfectly like Jahmyr fits into this team now. So I'm on that to where it's we can't always just look at the mocks and PFF and be like, oh, this is good or bad. There's still kind of that. The draft is you don't know what's going to happen in the NFL draft. Anything can happen. I looked at last year's mocks. when I was at work the other day, I looked at last year's mocks and I looked at what actually happened. I just compared a couple. I compared the last NFL.com one to what actually happened. Dude, it was way off. It had I'm trying to think, who was it? I'm drawing a blank. It had a big time player that just who I'm thinking of someone here.
Last year?
Anthony Richardson. It had Anthony Richardson going at like 15 or 16, and he ended up going top 5. It's you just don't know what's going to happen. Like these predictions, these PFF stuff, things are going to move so much.
Well, I mean, your guy Jane Daniels, I think on PFF is like a 20th ranked player. So like, I mean, do you listen? I mean, I don't think he's a 20th ranked player. I mean, that's like so. You know, it's just how much you value PFF. Well, I'll tell you what, fellas, kind of moved to more free agency and acquisitions. And I want you guys to help me here because I saw this floating around Twitter, and we're gonna have to nip this in the bud a little bit. All right, and Lucas, I think you can. I mean, you have a history of speaking the truth on this specific player. We both do. Can we stop with the Stefon Diggs of Detroit? Can we just stop with that?
That's a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing.
I do have some notes on that. I'm not going to lie, boys. So
cook, Boone. Just cook.
No.
Let me show this. Let me show this. So they put this out. This is on ProFootballNetwork.com. They wrote an article, Best Fits for Stefon Diggs. And, you know, I saw this floating around Lions Twitter. People talking about Stefon Diggs. You know, he's unhappy. And this is what it says about the Detroit Lions, why they see it would be a good fit. It says a contending team that needs a wideout to pair with a stable quarterback and budding outside receiver. Well, he's not an outside. He is, but okay. You can. He is an X. I guess. You can give it to him. You can certainly count on Detroit Lions as an organization that maybe is interested and may be interested in bringing in a talent like Diggs. Jared Goff is coming off an excellent season and led Detroit to a conference championship in the first time in decades. The Lions should do everything possible to maximize their championship window, even if it means moving cap space and draft room around. Stefon Diggs.
Yeah, and you know what they're gonna do after this? They're gonna go trade for Maxx Crosby. They're gonna bring in Jalen Ramsey for one more run. They're gonna bring the band together and just get all. No, what are we doing here? What team? And I like Stefon Diggs as a talent. Like I think he's a very good. He just came outside the top 5 of wide receivers and got replaced with Amon-Ra this year, in my opinion. But what team has he been on where he has not been a headache in the locker room? For one, not even there. And then you're going to play. I don't even know how much his contract is. And you've seen him even kind of have a little fall off with Josh Allen as a wide receiver 1, and a team through the first half of the season refused to run the ball. And even when they started running the ball, which you think would help Stefon out, and as far as getting open more, he was like a top 50 wide receiver through the last half of the season. Like there is no way in hell that this would ever happen. But Booner, cook Boone.
Yeah, no, I mean, when I say I'm cooking, I'm not cooking with the Stefon Diggs thing. That's not Stefon Diggs will not be a Detroit Lion. You guys know my thing with AJ Brown about how the issues came around in the locker room for a little bit last year with him, and then we had the conversation about Stefon Diggs in that same aspect as well. So there is that thing. It's who's a Dan Campbell guy? Is Stefon Diggs? Probably not, because you've seen the issues going on. Like his brother is putting tweets out there that are going at Josh Allen in the Bills. Like what's going on? So and he's a guy too, like even up to like yesterday, I'm pretty sure he's tweeting out and he's liking certain tweets. He's just like it's a headache. The only notes that I put when I read this article and when I kind of thought about the wide receivers around the NFL, and it kind of brought me back to what we just talked about last segment, is getting maybe someone in the draft, or like a Jameson Williams. If you want to be a top 5 offense in the NFL, which Lions were last year, think about some of the wide receiver duos and like tandems around the NFL, like a Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, guys like that, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. Like there are, like, if you have that is a whole different thing, to where secondaries, defenses, that opens up so much and makes so much more help, like puts so much less pressure on Jared Goff. That was where when I said this and I was like, oh, I'm going to cook on this. It's just more so, hey, if Stefon Diggs wasn't a locker room issue, there wasn't all this to it. Imagine having like one of the best duos in the NFL when it comes to wide receiver room. We haven't had that in Detroit. Like Josh Reynolds wasn't at that level to where you could say he's like a secondary, like a Jalen Waddle to Tyreek Hill. He's not that. Or like a Devontae Smith to a AJ Brown. That's not him. This just initially, it just in my head, it just goes, imagine if the Lions had that 1-2 punch, which J-Mo could be that. Or you draft a Xavier Legette or is it whoever it might be and turns into that. I just started reminiscing. I just started daydreaming a little bit about that. That was my only, like, I just want the boys. I want the people. I just think about that. Like, and I saw Laporta in there. Laporta's like that as well. Yes. But just that wide receiver kind of 1-2 punch. We haven't been close to that yet. And if you get a second guy like that, this offense is very dangerous with Laporta, the running backs, the offensive line. Just think, no for thought, boys. Just
look at a 29, Booner.
Yep. It's just like when I hear Stefon Diggs there, I'm like, Lions, if the Lions get a 1-2 wide receiver punch that is the best in the league, like with those guys, who is going to stop this football team? Who cares what your defense is like? Go put 60 up on people. Do what the Dolphins did.
Go ahead, Jeff, and then I'll kind of take another little tally off of it.
You know what? I understand. I understand that getting a player like this, you look at it on paper and you're like, yeah, like him and Amon-Ra, baby. It's going to make Amon-Ra better. Yeah. Woo! And then you think about it. What happened?
This is the Oakland game. They just smacked another 3, bro.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like.
No, you're good. So it sounds great, but like, let's be real here. If you bring in Stefon Diggs, number one, you bring in a big time personality. It is what it is. He's a big time personality. He's going to want the football. He complains when he doesn't have it, which, good receivers do. I want to make that clear. It's not a bad thing. Unless you're being very public about it, which he is. It's not a good thing. And also, and this is where it's hard for me, because the Lions offense, they spread the ball around. And you have to ask yourself, do they do that because it's the offense? Or do they do that because they don't have a dependable number 2 wide receiver? Now, I'm not talking about Sam Laporta, but a number 2 wide receiver. Like it's Amon-Ra, Laporta, and then there's like a mix of guys that kind of get the football. I don't know if it would change. I think the argument people would say would be like, oh, well, they spread the ball around. If they got a guy like this, I think they would definitely change how the offense is just because you have to. But guys, let's not forget, Stefon Diggs was a 5th-round pick too. So not saying you can get a Stefon Diggs, but again, like I always result back to that, because if you're a GM like Brad who can identify talent, especially a wide receiver, like he hit on Amon-Ra, and I know it's one player, but like I don't want to bring in someone that could potentially be a distraction. And that's how I feel about it. And you have to give up draft capital. I don't know if it's the right fit, because if he comes in here, it would have to be very known. You're the number 2. You're not the number 1. You're the number 2. And I don't know if he would be okay with that. I just think it's a bad fit. I do.
He would not for a second. And Booner even like really hit it right on the head, but he is the last thing from a Detroit Lions guy. He is the last thing. Like Stefon Diggs is known for, he will not break any tackles. He will go down before he gets touched by any defender. And to your point, Jeff, he's going to want to be the wide receiver 1. He's complaining about the targets he gets as the wide receiver 1 in Buffalo, who throws up there with the most in the league. So if he's coming to Detroit, where you talked about Amon-Ra St. Brown being a slot guy, going to command a lot of targets, same with Sam Laporta, Stefon Diggs is probably looking at like a 60, 70 catch season. While he probably still have good production with it, he's not going to want that. By week 8, he's going to be yelling at Jared Goff. He's going to be yelling at the offensive line. By week 8, he would be doing that. Keep him out. That's one of those things where you talk about building a team and just create a team. That'd be a Ryan Poles move. That's like, and I don't hate the Keenan Allen trade for the Bears, but that would be like the Keenan Allen trade on steroids, and then you're getting a bad character with it. It's just, and you're paying a lot more for Stefon Diggs and Keenan Allen.
And that's the thing I think a lot of GMs don't think about is fit. Like if you trade for 2 number 1 wide receivers, it looks great on paper, but there is that human aspect.
Yep.
Like I even asked the Bears that, like if Keenan feels like he's a number 1, he just came off a career year, and then DJ is the number 1. Like how are they going to balance that? I'm curious. Now, it's not like a bad problem, but it could be a problem. So especially a rookie quarterback. So there's a lot of things you got to handle. You got to be able to handle personalities, and he's just too big of a personality to me. But speaking of the quarterback that will be throwing him the football, you sent me this, Booner. Tad Prescott.
This is what I was talking about yesterday when I told you Dak's brother was running his mouth.
So very interesting video. Very interesting.
So, Tad Prescott went on I Am Athlete. It's a pretty, pretty big podcast. And he talked about his top 10 quarterbacks. We're going to react to it. I'm going to play the video. And I think it'd be better just to play the video so that way you guys don't see the actual list. But let me get the video up, and you guys can kind of judge for yourself how accurate his list is. And he took he threw some strays in this video. So let's check this video out. This is Tad Prescott talking about his top 10 quarterback list.
Pat Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. I still hold Aaron Rodgers as the top 5 quarterback. Joe Burrow.
Jalen Hurts.
You said quarterbacks, not running backs.
That was just like so like instinctual too.
Who was up there? Still hold Matt Stafford up there. Jared Goff has definitely come up in my ranks. That's 9. Matt Stafford. I would actually put Goff above Stafford. And then 10. I don't know if I have a 10th guy. I really don't. Maybe Flacco. I thought he still has a ring in play. You can throw Russell Wilson there too, but I don't know.
CJ Stroud just die? Did CJ Stroud just die?
Oh yeah, he never said CJ Stroud. I didn't even think of that.
Well, let's kind of
recap.
Let's recap his list. So this is his top 10 quarterbacks. He's got Mahomes at 1, Dak Prescott at 2, Lamar Jackson at 3, Josh Allen at 4, Aaron Rodgers at 5, Joe Burrow at 6, Tua Tagovailoa at 7, Jared Goff at 8, Matthew Stafford at 9, and then Joe freaking Flacco at 10.
I think that was a joke. The 10 was definitely like a let me troll.
Yeah, they doubled down with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I think that was a troll. I think he forgot a couple guys. I think he for sure, if he would have looked at a list, he would have said CJ Stroud.
Well,
I'll give him the benefit of a doubt.
It felt like at least I could it sounds like when he was talking, it's like who's at 10, but I don't want to say Hurts. Let's just go with Joe Flacco. It's like, dude. And you got Dak as the second best. I don't have that. We know why.
I thought you were about to go off on that.
Just put him at 1, Tad. Just put him at 1. He's better than Mahomes. Just say it. He's better than Mahomes.
Put him at 1, Tad.
Jesus, Tad.
This is too.
I'll ask you guys. The first thing we'll talk about is Jared Goff being 8th. Anyone in front of him you disagree with, or anyone behind him? He said he's better than Stafford. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's crazy to say he's better than Stafford, but worse than Tua. That's where my mind is. As far as the guy that he's behind, I have no issue with it. I would probably put at this stage of their career, it's still tough because Stafford's arm is better than Goff, but I'll give Goff the slight there. But I don't think there's any way Tua is better than Goff.
Yeah, that's the only thing that stands out, to be honest, with the Jared Goff is the Tua Tagovailoa. I think when we did our top 10, I don't think we had Tua on our top 10. Maybe at the end of it.
Yeah, do you guys think that Jared Goff is better than Matthew Stafford? This is going to spark a little debate here.
Listen, and I was like a huge, especially towards the end of his time in Detroit, like I was a huge get Stafford out of town just because he wasn't winning a Super Bowl and it was time to hit the reset button and he just extended them by not doing that. But if Stafford was in Detroit, and I know we hate having that conversation of comparing players if they were this team, I would take Stafford over Goff. Yeah, but it's just one of those things where you can't also take that away from Goff because Goff has done a very good job in Detroit. But do I think that, especially like this last season, if they had Stafford, they win that NFC Championship game? Yeah, I do.
Boone?
Wow. Stafford, I don't know how I'm going to say this.
It's all right, Boone.
I have to choose my words very wisely because I'm the leader of the Booner Path. A lot of people love the Kool-Aid videos. I love Jared Goff, by the way. I'm going to start with that. I love Jared Goff. Jared Goff, if you're listening, I love you. You are our guy going forward. I've said that he needs to be extended. He needs to be in Detroit, and he is the quarterback in Detroit going forward, and people hate him. Get used to his name because he will be your quarterback for a long time now going forward. But if we're talking about talent, and we're talking about who has a better arm and who makes plays, Matthew Stafford has the edge on that. Matthew Stafford, to me, is someone who probably should have an MVP award right now. He has a Super Bowl. He has he has that like it factor to him. Like you see these and I just saw the trailer for the documentary that's going to be out for him, and I think I heard something in there to where someone's just like Stafford is just a different. He's a different quarterback, and there's no one like Matthew Stafford. There's people like Jared Goff, and there's players like Jared Goff, and you can win with him, and he can be our franchise guy, and I love him, and I'm excited to go win a Super Bowl with him. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that have played in the NFL that are like Matthew Stafford. The throws he can make, things he can do, it's just different. And that's nothing against Goff. There's a lot of quarterbacks in this league who have won Super Bowls and won MVP. Not MVPs, but like have been big in this league and can't do what Stafford can do. That's I'll die on that hill too. Some of the throws that Stafford makes, some of the things that he does is just unbelievable. One of my favorite videos of all time in sports in my lifetime is the Matthew Stafford the shoulder injury his rookie year. It is though.
Andrew gets absolutely killed.
But it's like one of the best videos of all time because he's just that man, dude. That's just what he does. The fake spike for like the Cowboys, like that's just Matthew Stafford, and no one in the NFL, no quarterback does that. So I'm all in on Goff. I'm a Goff guy. I'm a Goff guy. I'm in on it. Like right now, who would I rather take? Give me Goff because contract, everything, the age, all of that comes with it.
Wait, hold on.
No, wait. And
the contract, the age. Like if we're talking about sustainability,
player.
If you're starting a franchise, who you taking?
Right now, if I'm starting a franchise right now, I'll take Jared Goff. His age. Okay. Money and age.
Let's say this.
Stafford's like this? I'm surprised Stafford hasn't retired yet.
1 year.
Oh, 1 year, Matthew Stafford right now. Like
because the age, I get the age.
1 year and healthy. 1 year and healthy, Matthew Stafford. 1 year and healthy, Matthew Stafford. Okay, but that's why I love Goff right now. He's young. The contract isn't going to be insane, and he can go win a Super Bowl with him, and then that's what it is. And he's a good leader. Like he could do all the things you need.
So, I love this comment. If I'm starting a franchise, 57-year-old Mike Tyson is the choice. I'll say this. All right, this is an interesting one, and I'm glad we're having this discussion. To me, it's close because, again, on the list they're 8 and 9. I think we would agree if we had a quarterback list, it'd be kind of close. It would be close. It depends on like what style do you prefer. I think we look at Stafford as a gunslinger, his arm talent, the way he can spin the ball. I mean, it's unbelievable. And Lions fans, I mean, if you guys were at that game in Detroit against the Rams, like Jared played really well, but man, Stafford made some throws, dude, that were just unreal.
Yeah. Like got a switch turned off and still was able to just come up and start slinging.
So and then you have Goff, who's like more of to Apollo's point in the chat. He says Goff is a surgeon. That's kind of how I look at it. Goff's like he's just and I know the term game manager. The term game manager is very offensive to people, but to me, it's not. Like he does it at a very high level. I mean, hell, I think Tom Brady was the greatest game manager. Like elite.
I would rather have an elite game manager than a guy who is very has a lot of talent but can't go win football games and manage a game. Personally,
yeah, but that's still like not to me. That's not like a diss. Like if you can, Goff, operates within the playbook. He's accurate. He's lately over the last couple of years, he's kind of cut the interceptions down. This year had a stretch where he threw some picks, but in his time in Detroit, he's just been accurate. Like so. To me, who would I prefer? I would prefer Stafford because of the talent. But like, if you told me, Jeff, I'll take Goff for these reasons, I wouldn't hate it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, you're wrong. To me, it's about preference. So I would lean talent. I would go Stafford. But again, like it's so close that you're really like, to me, you're kind of nitpicking, especially at this point in Stafford's career. He's a little older. So I would still go Stafford. I'll admit I'm a little biased. I'm a huge Stafford guy, but like you guys nailed it. Like Goff does what he has to do, and he does it at a high level, man. Like he's played at a Pro Bowl level. I just think they're two different kinds of quarterbacks in a way, like how they play the game. They're a little different, And
I kind of want to respond to these too. Like Stafford had Megatron and still lost. Yes, I will 100% agree with you because I died on this hill. This was one of the reasons I wanted to get rid of Stafford because he had Megatron and couldn't win a playoff game. Right. But if Matthew Stafford had Dan Campbell or Brad Holmes, I think Matthew Stafford, at the very least, is winning the Detroit Lions a playoff game in that time.
Look
the
at the
GM, the
offensive
coordinator, the head coaches. He finally had a decent head coach in Jim Caldwell, and they kicked him to the curb. They had a decent head coach. Say what you want. I love Jim Schwartz on the Detroit Lions as the head coach. Maybe he wasn't the smartest, but he was just one of those guys that I just enjoyed having on my football team. And he wasn't a terrible defensive coordinator or defensive coach. Like, those defenses were lights out. And they got rid of him too. Like, Caldwell and Jim Schwartz were his best head coaches. And what is that saying? Bringing Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn after you lose Calvin Johnson and you don't have a defense or running game. What do you want the guy to do? And that's something that I had to look in the mirror and realize as far as Stafford's career in Detroit. But I'm not going to hate you for taking Goff over him. But I think the whole argument of what did Stafford do in Detroit with Calvin Johnson when down to 2? I think if you're going to compare that to Goff, ask yourself this: what did Goff do in LA with Sean McVay, Todd Gurley, all that, and then Stafford comes in for 1 year, and what does he do? He wins the Super Bowl. Now, I understand they added pieces like Jalen Ramsey, but so do the Lions in Detroit, and Jared Goff is still yet to win a Super Bowl. Will he? I think so, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, you can use that both ways. That's why I don't like doing that. I don't like doing what did this guy do in his time in Detroit? Well, for being real here, the Rams gave up capital to get Stafford on top of Goff. So, like, that tells you what they thought of him when they traded him. But I think the Lions are very happy with JG. What's going on with Oakland? I know people are talking.
I'm over here just like I'm looking.
Let's get Michael Gentry in here too.
They're up 4. They just hit a 3 with 28 seconds to go up 4.
What the hell is
seconds
going on?
to go? 78-74. This is crazy. I don't think I've ever seen Oakland win I don't know if someone could tell me if they've ever won a tournament game in our lifetime, but I've seen them go so many times. I've had one of my best friends on the team, and it just never get the job done. And they have a chance to beat Kentucky. It's crazy.
Of course.
Of course. Neil's probably having the time of his life right now.
Dude, while you guys were just doing that, I was watching the whole last 2 minutes of this game. It's been insane. I don't even know how to pronounce his name for Oakland. That guy has made like 12 3-pointers. It's fucking crazy, dude.
It's Jack Golke. Jack Golke. An absolute dog,
what is it?
Dude.
What is some random? Is it some random white dude, or is he like established?
No, yeah. You hit it right on the head. Parents are in the stand watching, very proud. Mom's on edge.
This is his like big moment. You know
he's in the March Madness tournament. He's had how many threes now, Booner?
I think 10 right now.
And he's just lighting them. Like they just fouled him on a 3 because
I'm
so
hyped
about
this.
Shots up.
This is unbelievable.
He's 10 for 20.
Yeah, dude. Oakland's about to win this game. There's 18 seconds left, and they're up 4. And they just got fouled. They're intentionally fouling now.
They're about to beat
Kentucky.
Oh my!
This is crazy, dude.
Golke hasn't shot another shot. He has no other shots outside 3-pointers. He's 10 for 20, all threes. Only shots he's taken in the game is threes.
Dude, I don't even care, to be honest, if Oakland is the one that breaks my bracket or anything. Like, that would be the team where I'm this is okay. Any team does it, Oakland, go ahead. Let's make her. I literally, yesterday and today before the show, I said, I just want to see Oakland go on a March Madness Cinderella run.
I just looked
there we
up
go.
something.
Foul. Make your free throws, boys. Make your free throws.
I just looked up something that the Jack guy that you guys are talking about, he on the season so far in 34 games, he's taken 327 threes. In shots, he has 335. So besides 8 shots, every shot he takes is a 3. So this
Jesus Christ.
He's
be like Duncan Robinson on the Heat, just only shooting threes.
He refuses to dribble the ball.
That is his role. Like 300 out of 335 shots, 327 are threes. Like, so
I took him today. It was a good day to take him over 3.5 threes. He hit that literally in the first 10 minutes for me.
Dude, what were the odds? Was that just even
quick
odds?
No, it was like plus 115, maybe. It was like plus 150. It was like it was good. It was plus money.
That guy's about to impregnate the whole campus. I mean, that dude is about to go back an Oakland legend, dude. I mean, Neil might let him. Oh, never mind. Okay, I'm not.
He's starting to rain now.
Yeah,
Hey,
Neil might let him have his life, honestly, at this point, dude. I don't
John
even know.
Calipari, if Oakland finishes this off, hopefully he just missed the first half of the free throw. I don't know if I'm behind everyone. If Oakland finishes this off, Kentucky and John Calipari might be out at Kentucky. This might be it.
1-4 in their last 5, right?
Yeah, they get bounced. We were talking about it, Gentry. How many times, even take out the last 5 seasons, you go back and look at Cal's record since he's been at Kentucky. How many times has he gotten bounced out by like a 15 seed in the first round?
Yeah, and it really, you got to look at like all the players he's had. I mean, I seen something on Twitter the other day, like 10 out of the last 12 Kentucky guards have been like hits in the NBA. So like all their players are NBA ready players and they still can't win a tournament game. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
I hope he's out. Come to Michigan, Coach Cal. I'll take you.
Good one, Boone.
Someone said that in the chat. Yeah. Wow. I never would have thought that Oakland University would bust my bracket because I had Kentucky in the Final Four. Holy shit.
It's crazy. I had them losing to Duke going.
My good friend went to Oakland. He just graduated, and he's spamming me right now. He's like, "Let's fucking go, Oakland!" He doesn't even watch basketball, but he's locked in. So this is huge. I mean, shout out to Neil. Shout out to all the Oakland alumni and the players. That's huge, dude. You beat John Calipari, and I saw Greg Campy and John talking before the game. Yeah. Now he's probably like, "Hey man, good luck out there, champ." Here's
Coach Campy is a legend. He's been at Oakland for like 40 years or some like crazy number. I don't know what it is, but he was there when they were like an NA. Dude, he was there when I think they were NAI or D2, which is nuts. And Coach Campy is someone who he could have gotten a high major D1 job probably 15 times, and he's just stayed at Oakland. I'm sure he's could have gotten any job that he's wanted.
Bro's making a bag, probably. A bag.
For sure.
If he's been there that long.
Yeah. Coach Walk said both of my girls go to Oakland. He says, Iafrate, don't say that.
Shit. I forgot you said that.
All right, that's on me. That's on me, Coach. Yeah, well, excluding your daughters, of course. I'm sure they're wonderful human beings. But that guy's a legend at Oakland now. I mean, you hit 10 plus. What do you have? 10 threes, 11 threes? What do you hit?
I don't know. That was just funny, though.
I think 10.
Jesus.
Coach Walk holding you accountable.
Yeah, dude, I didn't know his daughters went there. Damn.
Coach Walk checked you real quick.
Damn. But still, that guy's a legend. that guy is a legend.
I'm not trying to speak too early, but Red Wings up 2 goals with 4 minutes left in Oakland, knocking off Kentucky. What a night for the state of Michigan.
Oh, yeah, Gentry. What'd you see from the Wings when you were watching?
Like I said, Dylan Larkin, integral piece. I mean, he just really increases the speed. I mean, obviously he only plays on one line, but the tempo of the whole team just changed. And then obviously DeBrincat and Kane, they were playing with Comfort on the second line still, and they kind of got it together a little bit and showed some energy. I feel like Alex DeBrincat tries harder when Dylan Larkin's out there. Like he holds him to a certain accountability. And yeah, and then Christian Fisher, Andrew Kopp, the last line, they have 3 of the 5 goals tonight. And Fisher's had three goals in the last 4 games, a bottom 6 forward that's tearing it up. So really all coming together at the right time. And like I said, Dylan Larkin, we needed him to come back, and thank God he did.
Yeah, that dude Larkin was missed bad. I mean, they put out a tweet today, or I saw that social media video they did. Who has the best hair? And Larkin appeared in it, and everyone's spamming the comments like, "Please, Larkin, play."
Dude, his first shift, the crowd just went nuts. All he had to do was skate on there. They're like, "Fuck, our savior's here."
Was he out there was he fully out there? Or was he kind of?
Yeah. He's fully back. He was the second line to enter tonight, but he was still on the first line with Perron and Raymond. Raymond, probably the hottest Red Wing right now. So. They're buzzing, man. They're buzzing.
I gotta text Neil, man. I just
I'm gonna shoot him a text.
Dude, I mean that dude, he's probably I can only imagine him, man, doing the commentary on that. Just of course he hits another 3. Of course. Just of course 10 plus times, man. Shout out to Neil. What a legend. Let's switch the conversation here. Shout out to Oakland. Any alumni, I mean, including Coach Walk's daughter. That's huge, man.
6-3 win.
I mean, that is huge. I'm shocked. Yeah. Oakland. I mean, wow.
I think they still have to make a free throw here, boys. I don't know if I'm behind, but it's only a 3-point game still. 4 seconds left.
Game,
and
3.9.
Yeah, he missed a free throw, so he needs to make one more free throw.
Things happen.
Oh, dude, March Madness, dude, you'll see the wildest things. So they make this free throw. I think it's Trey at the line. Like, just knock this thing down. Come on.
He hit it. He hit it, Boone. He hit it. Do you guys remember? I used to be a huge.
Is it over?
No, it's not over yet. The Kentucky took a timeout. Booner, do you remember? I used to be a huge, like, I was a slappy North Carolina Tar Heels fan. Do you remember the UNC Villanova Marcus Page hit that?
I watched that video
shot?
today. The left hand. I watched the same video today. That was nuts. The fact that Marcus Page made
agony after that.
That
Marcus Page shot was insane. Him and Bryce Johnson were crazy.
The fact that he made that alone was nuts.
That's where you get, like, when I watch those clips, man, I get goosebumps. You hear the commentator in the crowd. It's like, it's good.
My green bangs are undefeated.
Just gets tackled by everybody.
Anything, to be honest, like just March Madness, like these 2 weeks period. And I grew up, I'm a basketball guy. But March Madness to me, just I get chills, like everything about it. It's my favorite. Even over the NFL stuff, March Madness is my favorite. Or it's number one in my book.
Really?
Number one, 100%.
Booner,
I've been to Final Fours before I've ever been to any NFL things before. Like that is, I mean, I coach college basketball, so I was all in on that.
Booner, were there any games that kind of surprised you today? I know you were watching a little bit.
To be honest, not I was just more so shocked that there was no like a bunch of lower seeds that gave anyone a run for their money. This is like Oakland's like the first. I know there's an 11 seed that won today. I think BYU lost, but like that didn't really shock me. I wasn't expecting BYU. I took Duquesne, so like I bet on Duquesne. I don't know if I took them in my bracket, but I bet on them to win because I thought they would, and they did. So I think this is like the
school.
Duquesne, yeah.
The one where it's like DSQ.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought it was like Dasani or something like that. Oh my god.
The Dasani.
Duquesne.
You're gonna open a college and teach students. You're gonna call a college or spell a college named Duquesne that. Ridiculous.
Hey boys,
shout out Oakland.
I'm gonna give an update on the our brackets here. I'm gonna go through the ranks. So
what a dub. Congrats
holy
to Campy.
Shit, man.
Congrats to Campy. Well deserved for him, dude. He's been waiting for that one.
Here's our update. Yeah, don't mind me 44th. Let's just kind of skip over that.
I'm 50th.
I think that's John Merrill sitting at 3. Shout out.
So we got Captain Dad Pants is leading the race. Who is that? who is that? JD Merrill. There's been a change. Hold up.
I told you.
Okay, there we go.
JD Merrill is now in first place. Captain Dad Pants drops to 2. Well, they're tied, but tied for first. Reese's Picks, number 2, tied for first. Dante 151 tied for first. And then you have some other Stole Your Signs. I believe that's Nate, actually, on Twitter. Shout out to him. He's tied for 5th. Megan C. Weber, 5th. Benji. Shout out Benji, man. He's 5th as well.
Go.
Like we got some. Hey, look at that. This is looking good, boys. We got a lot of people. It's competitive. Besides my ass, I'm in 40th, 46th place. I just dropped down. Damn it.
I'm probably close to you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yep, whoa. Jeff. You had Oakland money line. Holy shit! Congrats.
Yeah,
to you,
what was the money line?
By the way, Jeff Merrill is the one in first place. He's tied for first. So hey, congrats to you, Jeff Merrill.
Shout out, Jeff.
I don't know why I said John. Shout out.
Yeah, that's wild, man. March Madness doesn't get much
I'm
better
shocked right now, to be honest, boys. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Neil is freaking going. That dude's going to. There's an after party Neil's going to or something. He's getting, dude. He did that.
No, I'm going to text Neil. Lock in. You got a game Saturday. Go get yourself to a Sweet 16, man. Keep this thing rolling. I don't even know who they play. I'm going to go check.
Yeah, that's wild. Well,
does anyone know what the money line was for that game? I know the spread was like 13.5 or something
probably
like that.
Plus 500, plus 600. It would be my guess.
Man, so it's not a bad thing to throw a couple throw a couple bones on like a plus 600, especially in this how March Madness is.
Especially if you're an Oakland fan and or you went to that college or whatever, just rooting for a Michigan team, just with those odds, make it a little fun.
Yeah, no doubt.
Try to see where they play.
Before we get to mailbag, I want to bring this up because it's not going to be something we have to discuss a ton, but it is something that popped up in the news. You guys hear Maxx Crosby? There's a podcast, The Rush with Maxx Crosby. They asked him, besides the Raiders, take the Raiders out, what team would you like to play for? And he said, hey, I want to play for the Detroit Lions. That's what he said. What's funny, Mike? What?
Back in the range. The two furnaces.
Jeez.
I missed it, boys. My bad. I was trying to put a tweet out from our social account, so I'm working over here, boys.
Hey, don't multitasking, Boone. You're not
good,
slacking
dude.
off like Mike and Jeff over here.
Yeah, I'm working. What are you guys working on over there right now?
Oakland will play the winner of Texas Tech and NC State. So,
yeah, they're winning it all.
Final Four bound.
Dude, imagine that though. That would be unbelievable.
Of course. Nowhere to go, man. I love that, man.
They get matched against
the Maxx
UConn.
Crosby thing. This is what I'm going to say with this too. It's like I pulled the clip because I was interested to see the context of it. They asked him if you weren't with the Raiders, obviously, who would? It was like the boys. It was like it'd be like one of us asking each other a question. Is like just one of the boys, and that was like the context of it. And then right after, they were like, the only reason you would do that is to get closer to us, right? And he was like, yeah. But I still think like if there was a second team, it would be the Lions. I just don't ever see him leaving Las Vegas, if I'm being honest, unless there's like a massive fallout like this last year. He said if Antonio Pierce wasn't the head coach, that he was going to request a trade. Like if something like that happened, then maybe I could see him come to Detroit. But like, do you ever see the Raiders letting him become a free agent without extending him? Don't
Maybe
ever see
late
it.
Career. I mean,
That's
I
why
just
we need to burn it to the ground.
I would accept
We
him
need
if
to
he's
burn
like a little
Vegas to the
later.
ground.
burn Vegas. Yeah,
I
we
guess we need. Go ahead, Boone.
I was just saying, I guess that that makes we want them to be that much worse next year, because if they're really bad next year with Antonio Pierce, things are going to fall apart, and then Maxx Crosby's going to want out, and that's when it's like, okay, come to Detroit. Maxx Crosby in 2 or 3 years with Aiden Hutchinson, jeez, man, that's a lot of money, but I'll do it.
Take that for stats, Greeny, you fucking goofball. The Lions window is closed. You think Maxx Crosby wouldn't say, yeah, I want to go play in Detroit? No, because even people that were from Detroit didn't want to go play for the Lions back in the day. The window was still open, Greeny, you goofball, and Maxx Crosby wouldn't want to come to the Lions if it wasn't.
Fucking goofball.
I mean, come on, Lucas. I think you nailed it there. That's where I was going with it. Not the question, can they acquire Maxx Crosby? No. But is it a good thing that players would say stuff like this? Yeah, hell yeah. Typically, it's where do you not want to play? Detroit. I'm not trying to go to Detroit, man. I'm not trying to go to the Detroit Lions. I'm going to die there. My career's over there. I mean, Gronk threatened to retire. Yeah. Yeah.
Gronk literally retired when he heard that he was going to be traded to the Lions. And then they're like, okay. And then he unretired.
Yep. He don't want no part in that. He said, fuck that. I'm not going there. Yeah, so this is great, man. I mean, I think Vegas keeps him unless Antonio Pierce is just a complete bum as a coach, which I actually like Antonio Pierce. So I think they're building something special over there. And they got Tom Telesco, I think, as the GM, and he's not bad. He's all right. So I think the Raiders, he's going to be – after I saw that photo of him smoking that stogie in the locker room, he loves it there. So I don't think him. Who wouldn't? You go to Vegas, isn't it like they got like no income tax, right, or something like that? What doesn't Vegas? Could be wrong.
Something like they got something weird with the casinos that I don't know what it is exactly, but there's something beneficial to like the Floridas where you don't have to pay state income tax. There's something weird with it.
Okay, so something weird. That. I make more money. I'm in Vegas, and I'm the best player. I'm famous here, and it's nice weather. Shit, I want to. I don't hate him. I don't hate him for it.
I mean, he is the face of Las Vegas sports for sure.
Yeah, he is. That money line they put in there.
That.
Oakland. Oh,
What you get? Who the Golden Knights or whatever they are? They got.
No, I'm just kidding.
Get out of here.
Hey, they won a cup, man. They won a cup. They've only been a team.
Wasn't it like their first year?
Yeah,
they were in the NHL. They won a cup.
I think it was their second year. Honestly, I could be wrong though. But yeah,
I thought I knew puck for a second.
Do they have?
They won one before more recently than the Raiders did.
Does their arena look like the Death Star?
No, but they do have a badass arena.
I'm going to say this, dude. Vegas and sports teams, perfect. The arenas, the stadiums, everything about like Vegas and
they need
sports
an NBA team. They need
NBA. Oh, they're getting a baseball team, and the A's are going to Vegas now. So, like, yeah, for sure. Like, I'm all in on Vegas having sports teams. I think
they need to send the Magic to Vegas or something.
The Las Vegas Pistons.
Oh, take that back. Don't get us. Don't get this. Don't get this show into deep trouble like that. No. I'm controlling the screen real quick. No, Gentry, take that. Say I was not serious.
I'll trade Troy Weaver with the team. Just give us some extra money.
No.
You can have Troy Weaver for some extra money.
Gentry, don't do this to us. Oh,
Get him gone.
No.
So you'd rather know basketball in Detroit than bad basketball in Detroit, Gentry?
No, I'm just kidding. They shouldn't sell the team, but the Pistons.
Yeah,
all right.
I was trying to save you.
Jeff Bain was about to be fucking bulging. Pause.
We're about to have.
I do think Las Vegas should get a team though.
For sure.
Hey, before we get to mailbag, I'm going to pull this video up. Did you guys see that awkward interaction with Caleb Williams and Keenan Allen? Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, that was really weird. It was like Caleb Williams acted like he didn't see Keenan Allen. that was one of the most weird, wildest. Like he sees him. You can see Caleb Williams look at Keenan Allen. He looks dead at him as he's walking up, and then just looks away. Like he's like looking up into the sky.
They're probably gonna be playing together. I didn't even think about that.
Look at this video.
Look how awkward this
looking
is.
around.
He's looking right at him, right there.
Wait, hold on. Wait. He's like looking around. Look at Keenan right there in the Bears outfit. Wait, he's right there. He's like, oh, what do we? No, I'm just not going to look at him.
Look, that's such a purpose. I'm not going to look over there.
Oh, hi. It's like you see an old friend. He's like, what are you looking for, man? Like,
what are we looking for? His mom in the stands.
This is your QB, Jeff.
What if he probably looked at Keenan Allen? He's like, oh, what up, little bro? What's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, no, nice to see you, man. Hey. Good luck with the Bears. I thought you were going to the Bears. Fuck no, I ain't going to the Bears, man. Are you kidding me?
You're getting JJ number 1, the best quarterback in the draft.
Yeah, I saw a tweet.
A little corny, but I don't know if it was. I don't know if he didn't see him or not. I mean, Keenan had the Bears. He might have thought he was a scout.
Yeah, that's true.
Might have thought he was a scout.
He did have his hood
up. His face was like smushed in the hood. I'm just saying.
Right? There was a tweet that it was like Caleb acts like. There was a tweet that compared him to like a different player in a different sport, and it was like he acts like this player. And whoever, I don't remember what it was, and it's bothering me right now because it's so spot on. It's one of the most spot on things.
It was Cat.
Yes, dude, it is the most spot on thing when he won. I rewatched it.
I was like, that just struck a nerve. That just struck a nerve with Jeff.
I mean, hold on, like
that's so spot on.
Carl Anthony Towns cat.
Yeah.
Yes. No, not like an actual cat. We're talking about Carl Anthony Towns, brother.
Your favorite player, Carl Anthony Towns.
No. Nope.
You're a Carl Anthony Towns fan?
He's not. I don't. No, he's not Carl Anthony Towns. He's not an actual cat. He's not. What's the fucking bald cat? I don't care what it is. He's not any of those cats. What's those cats called that are like bald? You guys know what that
cat?
I mean, why do you gotta say it like that? Why do you gotta say? I mean, yeah, sure.
There's naked ass cats. They ain't got no protection on. They're raw dogging life.
Okay, thank you. He's not cat. Carl Anthony Towns. He's not a Sphinx cat. He's not an actual cat. No.
Bigglesworth from Dr. Evil or Austin Powers. The original bald cat.
Siamese. Oh, Siamese is a cat. He's not a bobcat, a Siamese cat. He's not any of these. A Sphinx cat.
Garfield.
What it is. Nope. They'll be all right.
He's just a flat out bum. A bust. Brian Leaf.
No, he's not. No, Ryan Leaf. That I can't let slide. Nope.
EJ Manuel?
No, we're not doing that either.
I thought EJ Manuel was going to be something.
Yeah, I think that's why I was
thought
like,
he was.
No. Yeah, no. Patty Grimes, Mailbag, Booner. How big win was it for Oakland over Kentucky? How big of a win, Boone?
To put it in perspective, I mean that's the biggest upset of the tournament so far, and it potentially could be the biggest of the whole tournament. A 14 over a 3. That's as big as it gets. The last couple of years, you know what? I think people take it out of perspective a little bit because the last 2 years we all got very, very like spoiled, getting so many like the 216 over 1s the last 2 years that never happened before until UMBC, and then obviously last year the 15 and the 2s last year that happened in the year before. We've been so spoiled. This is the best upset of the tournament so far.
Yeah,
awesome,
and to be honest, you want me to be honest too? Kentucky being a 3 seed. They probably could have been a higher seed. They dropped a couple. They could have been a higher seed, and a lot of people, Gentry, had them in Kentucky in their Final Four, and a lot of people thought Kentucky had a chance to actually go win a championship this year. Like there were people who actually thought Calipari was going to do it this year. That man just got bounced in the first round to the Oakland Golden Grizzlies.
Thank you, Booner.
Baby.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Golden Grizzlies.
It's undoubtedly the biggest win in their
Lucas
program's history.
Can we screenshot that? Can someone give us a screenshot? I don't know how to do that.
I'll screenshot.
I guess it's live. We can go back and get it whenever.
I kind of like this, Lucas.
That is that should be his profile picture.
Yeah. Oh, there
was
he
one
is.
of the funniest moments.
Was he just frozen with my phone in the air?
The face and everything was great, dude.
Dude, oh my god. Well,
I can't wait. I'm gonna watch basketball all day tomorrow. I'm gonna go somewhere and watch. I'm gonna go to like a restaurant or something, and I'm off work. I took Friday off just to watch basketball.
Jeff asked Mailbag, which team will draft the biggest bust in this year's draft?
Trying to think.
Probably the Bears.
Yeah, Caleb Williams.
If somebody takes Xavier Worthy in the first round, I'd put my money there.
Yeah, probably Caleb Williams.
Oh, Nate Wiggins. Whoever drafts Nate Wiggins in the first round, I will put my money down. I would be a betting man to say that if Nate Wiggins is a first round pick, whoever takes him in that first round will be looking to trade or release him by the time that his rookie contract is up, if he even makes it there due to injury. I do not agree.
Danny was quick with it.
He's quick with it.
I think if I had to give a player, I'm trying to make it like interesting because I could say like the player we all dislike the most or we're not fans of would be like Ennis Rakestraw. I mean, there it is, Brian.
Yeah.
Ennis Rakestraw, like I think he'll probably be a bust. If I'm going quarterbacks, that's tough. I think probably most of them will be a bust, to be honest. I think Bo Nix is going to be a bust. Like I just think
he goes to like a Minnesota and sits for a year.
He can sit, he can rest. I mean, he can do whatever he wants, man. He can take a nap. He ain't waking up from that nap, man. He's gonna stay asleep. He's gonna be a bust. We'll see. Again, guys, I think a majority of the class will be a bust. So that's just me. I don't know. We'll find out. Majority of the class, a quarterback class.
They said.
So I think there might be 2 guys that walk away that you're like, those guys, hey, it worked out. Like I think it'll probably be Jaden Daniels and Caleb. But we'll see.
I think if there's a way that Dable can get his hands on Drake May, I think that works out.
I like Drake May. I would like it better if he could sit. He's so young.
Yeah.
He's like 20. He just turned like 21, I think. 21, 22.
Did you guys?
He could sit. Might be 3. There could be 3. Because I'm torn between Jaden Daniels and Drake May. That's like the one that I'm like, ugh.
I think Jaden hits for sure. I do.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think Caleb and Jaden both hit.
What are you guys' thoughts too? That draft we looked at earlier, Minnesota took Bo Nix.
Yeah,
I would kind of. I know Bo Nix. There's that thing like at the combine too. A lot of like people were getting really high on him. I don't know if there's. I don't know because I'm in a position to where it feels like Bo Nix in positions like when he's gone to different schools and like when he got to Auburn for him, he was decent and then kind of fell off and had to leave. And then when he got to Oregon, he adapted really well and was really good. And then like, is there a scenario to where he gets the NFL and he does the sim? Because sometimes that's a thing with guys. It's like they're really good at adapting and getting better in different situations. Maybe he does that in the NFL and that makes him really good. But if the Vikings, instead of getting like a JJ or a Jaden Daniels or Drake May, if they end up with Bo Nix in the NFC North, I'm a little bit like, it's a great, again, I said whoever goes to Minnesota is going to be end up having a decent career or a good opportunity. But if Bo Nix, I don't know if I don't know.
Well, Brian asks, if you trade up, would you rather have Turner and Melton or Quinion and Trice? I'll go Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner. I don't even got to read the rest. Stop there. I just think Dallas will be a better player than anybody on here. So I'll go Dallas. And Max Melton, I'll take him. I don't even give him. You could add Mike. Just give me Lukas Klotz, Mike Gentry, Booner. I don't give a shit. Give me Dallas Turner.
Hey, what are you trying to say?
And I'll take any of you fellas too.
Brother, you take me over Dallas Turner.
Right, you just writing us off?
That's kind of fucked up.
No,
what type of show are we running
here?
You
thought Cooper DeJean could be a problem in the NFL. Just you wait. You give me a helmet, shoulder pads, line me up across. I don't know. I'll lock up Josh Reynolds for the fun of it.
For the fun?
Send him to Baltimore. Send him to Baltimore hurting.
I'll retire Reynolds for funsies. I don't give a shit. I'll just get in there, get in practice, lock him up, get out of there, bud. Lucas, you'd get routed up by frickin' Xavier Worthy. That's what you'd get.
No.
Yep.
I'm throwing him into the bench.
Wrong.
I'm throwing him into the bench.
Wrong.
I'm lining 10 yards off, and I'm just waiting.
Get physical. He's too small. Too tiny. ETN Mailbag. Odds on Neil pulling a Flannel Sam like a celebration in a hotel.
That would be.
Oh, Flannel Sam like celebration in the hotel. I mean,
shout out Flannel too.
Comes in as like a minus 250, I think, for that.
Neil's probably slamming bourbon already. It's probably wasted.
I could see like Neil
he's
pulling
on a radio
up
call. He didn't have a camera. He was probably already getting to it for the end of the game.
100%.
Dude, Neil's probably dripped out too. He's probably wearing his best suit. I mean, he's probably walking out of that bitch like, yeah, I'm him. Then he goes into the hotel room, probably smoking a stogie. Neil's definitely gonna celebrate, dude, and he deserves it. He'd probably be with the team with that dude shooting 10 threes. They probably
have a glass of bourbon again and move on. Saturday,
yep,
baby.
There it is.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine that feeling, like being in his position or anyone covering the team, even a player, just like going in and getting that big of a win where you were obviously huge underdogs and whatnot. Just that's got to be the most insane feeling. So,
especially versus like a Kentucky, a blue blood, Calipari, it's unbelievable.
All right, let's get to the next question here. Randy Mailbag: is there a better made up Madden player name than Howie Felder Snatch? Well,
he set you up there.
Got him.
Yeah, I don't know. Randy,
I don't get it, to be honest. I don't know.
Read it. Just read it a little slower, Booner, as if it was all one word or one saying, I should say. Howie Felder Snatch.
Oh, okay. Haha.
All right.
Well, there you go.
I've got basketball on my mind.
Yeah, it's more of a statement. It's like a rhetorical question. I don't know how I'm answering that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a better name, Randy. I think that's pretty elite, to be honest. I don't know. Is that an actual Madden name though? That's what I'm curious. Is that something they generated? Jesus.
He's just patrolling. No, I think.
No, yeah, come on, Jeff.
Wake up.
Hey, I don't know.
You're better than that.
Who knows? I think there was a question too, and I have to make sure I add. Okay, here we go. Eduardo Mailbag. I wish Jeff would talk about golf, how he talks about love and Caleb. Do be ready to bust for the. Okay, pause on that end.
Okay.
Well, okay, the ending. Just we got to get that out of there, Eduardo. But let's be very clear. I think all of us talk very highly about golf, but the thing you got to understand is, like, when it comes to being a fan of a quarterback or giving a quarterback love, our job is to be kind of it is kind of be polygamous a little bit, where we're not going to just love and respect Goff. Like, we got a lot of quarterbacks we love, respect. That's what it comes down to. All right, we're not monogamous with in terms of our fandom with just Goff. All right, so I think people misunderstand that. Like, when we give another quarterback credit, they're like, "Oh, just fucking be the fan of that team already." It's like, well, there are good quarterbacks besides Goff. Like that's a thing. That's a thing, fellas. I mean, I don't know if the monogamy and the polygamy thing was the right one, but hey, I just went with
yeah, I didn't know where you were going, but you landed the plane, and I thought it was a great play.
Hey, I dug deep. I mean, I didn't know where to go with that.
You made a play. You made a play.
Yep.
Something Goff can't do.
Well, hold up. Well, Coach Walk 37 says, then why do you just talk about the Lions? Because that's what people want to hear. I mean,
we're obviously a Detroit sports podcast, but the Lions, like, NFL football does not revolve just around the Lions. Obviously, we cover the Lions, but when you talk about, okay, we're playing the Packers this week, we were all shitting on Jordan Love going into it, and they're like, oh, he just beat us on Thanksgiving. And then you talk about the Lions, you got to talk about the NFC North, who they're even playing the NFC North. Talking about the NFL is talking about the Lions at the same time. Obviously, we're Detroit's, but got to expand outside of it to talk about the Lions at the same time.
Before we go, what's this question mean? Do you guys get this? I don't get this. I'm trying to decipher this right now.
Is Booner for real? Yeah, Mac was right. He ain't getting laid. Right.
Remember,
now.
John is like, do you get pussy? What are you doing? Because they're always like posting. You know what I mean? He was joking, John Macaroon, yesterday. Remember that?
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
He's like, Mac was right. He ain't getting laid right now. What do you mean? What is Booner for real about? What though? That's what I was confused.
That's where I was like, I was trying to decipher. What am I for real about? I didn't say. I didn't even say anything. I've just been sitting here for a second. And right now in my head, I'm thinking about the tournament, and I'm trying to process what just happened. And
you're fine, but I don't think there's anything bad.
The left side of my brain is the Booner path, and the right side of my brain is the NCAA tournament right now. So, and it's like just a circus in my head right now.
Look, it was a compliment. Bonjay, it's because you're working so hard, Boone. Pod comes first, respect. Yeah, that's how.
Let's go, Bonj.
That's really what our life's been. That's how our life's been since late January. Like, we don't even really do much outside of like working on this and doing other things. It's just, that's what the life is. Coach Walk 37. I'm kidding, boys. Well, Coach Walk, it's hard to decipher. It's so hard over reading text. I'd prefer just talking. But Coach Walk, just come join the show, man. Fuck it. You know what I mean?
You fucking earned it, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get out of here.
Wait, before we go, I want to read something here.
What, you get
No, I just want to go back to this text. I want to not a bet. I want to read a text that I sent to the boys, and I can't find it. I sent a text to the boys, and I remember texting it. I'm pretty sure I texted the boys and Gentry when we were talking about Kentucky a couple days ago, and I said I can just picture. I saw in the SEC tournament Kentucky and John Calipari walking off the court losing, and I just keep picturing that in my head. I think I told Gentry this, and I just keep picturing that in my head, and all I can think about is them walking off the court and Coach Cal walking off the court, head down, the boys just, and that's what's happening right now. I see Coach Cal on the screen, and I was like, I think I sent that text to the boys, which is funny. Full circle moment.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think you said it before the show, but you were spot on about that. You did call Kentucky losing, and I'm the dumbass that took him to win it all in my bracket. So I took the L tonight.
Me too. No, I had him in the Elite Eight, so it's a tough one. Elite Eight team gone.
With the win, Boone.
Hey, it's still you know what? It's March Madness. That's why it's hard as shit to get a correct bracket. But don't forget, we're almost at 5,000 subs. We're about 20 away. So tell a friend, tell that friend to tell a friend, and then tell that friend who told their friend who told their friend to tell another friend. Because that's where we're at right now. Okay? We're 20 away. I'm proud of
Hit that sub if you haven't already, goddammit.
And thank you for the support to everybody, man. It means a ton. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Can't wait. We'll have another guest on. We'll try. I'll reach into my bag here. We'll see what we can find because it's a Friday show. I don't know if you guys want to do the alternating picks in the first round thing tomorrow. We can do that tomorrow live on the show. I think it'd be fun.
I'm in.
We'll do member
send mock drafts too. We can break down some fan mock drafts.
Yep. I want to start kind of rotating. I want to make sure members get theirs. So we'll see. But please, I have the message already in the community page for members where to send your mock draft. So specifically, we know what members sent theirs. And we'll get out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Have a great night.
Love you guys.
Doses.